Queef.
Fuji go hot in the beat. Stopping in, we been tapping in. We ain't never late. Dropping gems, we been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took else to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy. Yeah, you know I've been a heavyweight. Stopping in, we been tapping in. We ain't never late. Dropping gems, we been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took else to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy. Yeah, you know I've been a heavyweight.
What's going on, y'all? I was doing like a boomerang, like in live action. What's going on, y'all? Episode 51. Yeah, boys, the heavyweight bros in the building. It is June 1st. That means the rent and the mortgage is due. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Boys is out here. What's going on?
Wake up.
You just picked the song that goes on the Spotify. Because I always have trouble coming up with songs for that. As usual, I am your host, the 5XL assassin, the diabolical diabetic, your boy, the big nasty. And to my right is the co-host, the high yellow hitman, the freaking deacon, Coach Buck, my man, Uncle Razor. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. That was a really intense intro. Even though I heard it so many times, but you really sold it today, man.
I think it was much. I think you were waiting for the My Little Dumpling thing, and it never came.
That's not what it was. That's not what it was. I was sold before you even got to my side.
Listen, I understand. I was like, that's your favorite part of the intro.
However you want to feel, it's okay. But I'm doing good, man. It's pod day. We missed a day, but we'll get into it.
I think we missed like 2 days.
Nope, just one day.
We didn't do Saturday or Sunday, and we missed Tuesday. So
Tuesday moves to Wednesday. We should do the weekend and a weekday. So we didn't do the weekend. Here we are on a weekday.
I feel like this is the same argument as you counted 10 people plus Rudy Gobert plus I counted Rudy Gobert, and then he made the top 10. I feel like that's what
I posted the video. You counted out 10 names and then Rudy. Top 11. It's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with being top 11.
Well, we're gonna talk about that. You thought it was over?
Yes, it is over.
you thought.
How are you doing?
I'm actually doing really well. I feel like I finally came out of that little, I guess you could call it a funk, a phase, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
I had a great weekend.
Just
and
one of them days.
It was a couple of weeks. It felt like.
Just one of those months.
Maybe a haze is a better word.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I feel really good, man. It's I'm excited about a lot of stuff. I feel like a lot of things are, I don't want to say everything's going in the right direction because it's like life is still life, but it's like there's been a lot of positives all of a sudden. You know what I mean?
At the other end of the tunnel.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. It's like refreshing.
I like it.
Those 90-degree days helped. You know what I mean?
Hey, it sure did. It was definitely hot out.
I thought you had like a joke attention. It was like hot out, with your bots out, or like something like that. I was like, I don't know. Did you have your hoochie daddy shorts on?
For one, I am never referring to anything that I wear as hoochie daddy anything.
I saw someone had the shorts that said hoochie daddy shorts on them, and I was like, we've fallen so far from God's light. That's crazy. We used to build things as men, and now look at what we're doing. What happened? But I already ordered a couple of mine on Amazon.
Why do we do these things? I don't understand why we do these things.
I just feel like I got nice legs and I like to wear above the knee shorts.
No, I don't have a problem with that, but why do you have to call yourself a hoochie daddy?
I don't think we call ourselves that. I think the women called us that. We just owned it.
There are people posting videos of themselves with the little girl in the back, like they wearing these shorts, these little hoochie daddy shorts. Cat call them like, what, bro?
As like I said, a woman started it and we owned it. That's all it is. They hate when we're in on jokes with them. Like if they make a joke and then we actually like the joke and roll with it, they can't stand it.
Yeah, you can keep it.
Because to me, it's not a joke; it's a lifestyle. So yeah.
Listen.
I mean, we can get on into it.
All right. Digging in the crates. Oh. No diggity, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you told me to put the game on here.
Yeah. Did you see the game's recent interview? I don't know if he was on Drink Champs or what he was
on Drink Champs. I didn't watch it.
But I didn't watch it either because
I've been trying to. So personally, myself, it's kind of good and a bad thing for me because I really like watching podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we're doing one, I don't want to be like our content to be influenced by what I'm watching on another person's podcast?
That's pop culture, though.
I guess.
I was thinking about I was thinking about it today, like in the shower, right? Like I was like, man, why don't we have shows like 106 and Park anymore? And I was like, well, podcasts have just become that show. Like you have the artists come on, they promote their stuff, and then like you kind of like sometimes they'll leave you with a video or like whatever it is, and then they just kind of keep it moving. And it's like they do the circuit.
Blind Fury.
This is true. That's what I'm saying. You miss a lot of the bells and whistles.
I'm about to set it off up in here.
Making fun of the blind now. Okay, all right. I'm kidding. I just wanted to make you feel bad. But so the game was on Drink Champs.
Okay.
And
I'm assuming he said something wild because that's what he does. So he must have another album dropping. How many?
He does. Of course, he has an album coming. So because he has an album,
for them to come to the sales of one album,
them to go triple cardboard. I know, but it's like, so of course he's got an album coming out. So his rollout, because he's a whole ass nigga, as previously stated, is he starts. So like he starts talking about other artists. The main artist that he decides to come for is Eminem.
Okay, go ahead. I did see some headlines. Go ahead.
So his main point was, he's like, yo, I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody in the hood bumps Eminem. You don't play Eminem in the club. I'm a better rapper than Eminem is. And I was just like, this dude is so corny. Like, I was like, man, I cannot stand the game. Like, he drives me insane.
Who you got an issue with more, him or Paul Pierce?
No, the game. I actually like rooted for Paul Pierce at certain points in time.
Okay.
He's just a cornball. There's nothing you can do about that.
Okay.
It's better to be a cornball than a whole ass nigga. Like,
okay. I'm gonna defer from both, but
if you're gonna be one or the, you've been a corn. Like,
we're gonna have a debate one day. We gotta bring a cornball on.
We already got one. No, I was kidding. I'm kidding. Then. We've had him on as guests.
You shot worthy today, man. You took a lot of shots today. This man is on one. He feeling good today.
I was in a mini man before I came in. Felt bulletproof.
All right. Well, so he said he's a better rapper than Eminem. Of course, he knows he's lying to himself. But.
Yeah, because like people love to use like this new Eminem and like pretend that that's who Eminem is or was. Been like in this nutshell, and it's like that's not the case. It's like this isn't prime Eminem. This is like, and I know this is the analogy like everybody always uses. It's like this is like saying that Jordan, Wizards Jordan, like that is trash, so Jordan's trash,
right?
Or it's like he's not even that good. Like I just sauced him up. It's like, yeah, this wasn't prime Jordan that you're going against.
Right.
Like this is he's a TikTok king now, and even still, you still don't do the same numbers that Eminem does like on TikTok because he still is what you call it.
This is irrelevant. Suns Shaq.
You have not been relevant since like 2013, and it's like this new album that you
TV?
Huh?
Was that when he was on TV?
He was on TV.
Yeah, wasn't he? Didn't he have a Love and Hip Hop show or something like that? He had something.
He did have one of those shows. Did you must say Surviving R. Kelly?
No, I was going to say Surviving the Game, but I was like, that doesn't sound right.
It's more than the game, something like that. Whatever. He definitely had.
That's a LeBron joint.
Yes, but I'm saying is like he definitely had a show with him and his wife.
It's like half a season.
Yeah, didn't go very far. No. But speaking of rapper shows, Ja Rule had a show about like his family and stuff like that. I thoroughly enjoyed that show. And I was like, man, I wish Ja Rule was my dad. He seems like a real cool dad. I don't know if it was because Ja Rule was really cool dad or just like, I just would like to have a dad. I couldn't figure out which one it was. But it's like, you make no sense. Like, yes, people are not playing Eminem in the clubs. And it's like, you want to know why? Because like all his club music that he used to make was in like 2003. And it's like, and they didn't like, stand the test of time and stuff like that. But like, where they do play Eminem music? In gyms. He's like one of the most number one like workout artists of all time. Like you telling me like you put Lose Yourself on in whatchamacallit. Like you put Lose Yourself when the roof goes on, when the lights go out, it was like all that type of stuff. Like I Am, like all that stuff. Like that's what Eminem's music is for. Like he does have the way you shake it. I can't believe it. I ain't never seen an ass like that. It's like you get stuff. Like he has make my slinky go doing. Like he has like songs like that too. But it's like that's not Eminem's bag. Like his bag is like it's like horror rap. It's like dark, gritty. Yeah. He gets in. He's talking about like raping his mom and like killing like his ex-wife. Like that's the type of stuff that he gets into. Like he digs into that stuff. Like cleaning out my closet. Yeah, we're not bumping that at the club. You're right.
Right.
But Eminem is also on he's on songs that play in the club, like a song like Drinks Forever, for instance.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, he's on like these like he does a couple songs with like Lil Wayne that like they play like in the clubs and stuff like that. But yeah, like what are you talking about? Renegade. I mean, I still listen to Renegade too. Come on, now, like, he's on whatchamacallit, the Biggie song, Dead Wrong. Oh, and he's got that amazing verse on it and stuff like that.
Yeah, oh, that's right.
Put it this way. There's a lot of songs. There was a long time where it's like if Eminem was on your song, he more than likely was having the best verse on the song. And he was on songs with guys like DMX, Jay-Z, like these really, really big names, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and he's eating these people like, on these tracks.
He was just on Corday's album.
He was on Corday's album. That was a very bad verse, though. Okay, we're going to be honest about that. But like, what was the last song that like you were like, oh my God, thank God the Game was on here. He bodied this verse. Because normally like his thing is like he has the other person on his song. Like his like probably the Game's biggest song that has like lasted the test of time is Hate It or Love It. Yes. Right. And like the best part of Hate It or Love It is 50 Cent. It's not the Game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's like they're not bumping the Game in the club either.
Right. Like he had a joint with Drake, but I don't like you could fast forward past his.
The Game has a song with Drake?
Yeah, it's called 100. Y'all better not come to my funeral with that face.
Oh my goodness, I remember that song.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody playing that nowhere. Drake don't even play that. Drake's like, thanks for the check, my boy. Like, what are we talking about?
Gonna spin this in the club, eh?
Right. And it's like there's never been like yo, we gotta put this Game song up for verse of the year. Like it's just like it doesn't exist. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like a lot of your clout was built off of like this one album that Dr. Dre produced and 50 Cent, who was the hottest thing like in the world, touched and wrote half of these hooks and stuff like that. You had G-Unit like on your back, and it was just like you did what with it? What's that song where like he's in like the graveyard and he got Lil Wayne on it? And I was like, man, this song is butt cheeks, but everybody loved it for a little bit.
Oh, no.
It's like, this is my life. He's like, when I cry, so this other, and I was just like, man, I hate this song. And this was at the time.
Sure I'll know if I heard it.
This was the time where like Lil Wayne could not miss. Like it was like I was such a Lil Wayne stan. It was like anything that Lil Wayne was on, I was like, this is the greatest song I ever heard in my life. And I remember I heard that song. I was like, this is one of the worst songs I ever heard. Like, I can't believe he did this to Lil Wayne and made him sing down to this level. What happened to you?
Yeah, it's like there's rings everywhere.
Well, we take it back. He had the song with Kanye not too long ago.
Oh no, that one was hard though.
Yeah, was the Game the reason why the song was hard?
Yeah,
exactly. Like half of everybody fast forwarded.
Yeah.
That's what they should call it. The Game should change his name to the fast forward button because that's what everybody does in his verses.
Like, for the most part. It was. Don't interrupt. Just because. Yeah. Mind you, Ye's verse is way longer than his too.
Yeah, it was.
It's like because the song is like 4 minutes. The Game rap for like a minute.
Didn't he say too that like Kanye did more for his career than Dr. Dre did?
Yes. Let's
just go to the next subject. Big Game just be talking out his ass. That's all really get into. It's like he just be talking.
The verses. We never got to the verses. I did not get to watch it yet.
I watched a good chunk of it. I think I got down
to a good chunk of it.
I didn't get to finish it. The night of the verses was one of the basketball games.
Oh, okay.
I want to say it was like game 6 or something like that. It was a really important game, so I didn't watch it then, so I had to watch it afterwards. And this joint is like 4 hours long. It's like really long. And I want to say I got like a good 2 hours into it. So like I got to there, like they had 6 songs left. So like I didn't even get to like the big hits. Like I didn't get to International Players Anthem. I didn't get to Murder. I didn't get to like all that type of stuff.
So would it help to revisit this and I watched the second half because you already watched the first half?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, I got you.
I'm with it.
I got you.
But I will say was from what I watched, like it was pretty entertaining. And it was like 8Ball and MJG. If we're doing it like a real versus, they got washed by UGK. But it was less like that, and it was more of like the celebration
type. Yeah.
And I gotta say, like they put on a hell of a show. Like there was a bunch of songs that they did. Like I was like, I don't know what song this is, but I was like, I kind of want to listen to it. I kind of want to listen to whatever song this is.
That's dope.
It does the job of what verses is to make you like look through their catalog afterwards.
Yeah, there's a few verses that was like that. I think the first one though was probably like Snoop and DMX.
Like the first big one.
That was like kind of like not a versus, even though it was, but it was more like a celebration type thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, what really put him on the map was the the Teddy Riley versus Babyface.
Wasn't that the first one?
No, there was a lot before. I think the first one was like the Dream versus Sean Garrett or something like that, and then there was like Neo versus Jonte Austin. There was a lot of people like at home, like on their phones. Ludacris versus Nelly, 112 versus Jagged Edge, and there was like everybody. There was always one that had some sort of technical issue.
Gotcha.
But like Teddy Riley was the one that like really put it on the map, and it was like more because of like how he failed to do it. But like, yo, when I tell you that this man knew what versus was supposed to be, and he was on it, and it was just like he just couldn't figure out how to get it there. Yeah. And it's like now you see what versus becomes. Like Teddy Riley knew, just like he always has been at the forefront of knowing what's coming. He knew what it was. He just couldn't get the pieces there. We all laughed at him, but look at him now. Look at him now.
Where is he?
I'm talking about the versus.
Oh, I thought you meant Teddy Riley. So he was like, did he buy versus?
Nah, probably.
All right, well, I'll watch the second half of it, and we'll compare and contrast. We'll do that.
If you do that.
All right, let's get on to this Insomnia hour.
Okay. Why? You sound like mad down, man. You sure you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, man. I don't know. Like,
I'm a little hoarse because I was coaching this weekend, and I still am struggling to get my voice back 3 days later.
They called me that too, a little hoarse.
Wake me up inside. Wake me up
inside. Take my horse to the Old Town Road, and I'm going to ride till I can't. No, shit. I'm kidding. Wake me up inside. Wake me up. Wake me up inside.
Save me.
Save me from the nothingness inside. I knew you were.
All right, so we got several things on Insomnia TV today.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure not to get too long-winded, but I think it's
I think it's gonna be pretty short because there's a lot of these I did not watch. Period. So like, there's a lot. I looked at the list. I was like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to watch that.
I can't get frustrated because I know when we get the movies, there's a movie that we were supposed to watch and I did not watch. So we'll call it even across the board. All right, so I'll get through it. I won't rush, but I'm all caught up on Barry.
Oh, you all caught up?
Yes. Are you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's chat about it.
Let's talk about it.
All right. So
you're on season 3.
I'm on season 3.
I thought the last episode was one of the best episodes of the show, period.
It was really?
Yeah.
Do tell.
So in this latest episode, we kind of get, like, they've kind of been putting the pieces together that Fuchs has been telling everyone that Barry, like all the people that Barry has hurt in the past, he's been getting them to come after him, but he finally found the squad of people that he needed like the whole time, which was this biker gang.
Yes.
So we get this, I thought, an amazing scene, and it's extremely well written, of Barry like getting ready to go somewhere and the bikers figuring out who he is, and he's on like a chase scene the whole time. Meanwhile,
him on the dirt bike was hilarious.
The whole, and that's the thing is like that. I think that's when Barry's at its best, when it's like they're taking really, really, like, this is a crazy situation, but they're finding like
quirky,
the way to make it look as stupid as possible.
Yes.
I really, really enjoyed all the dialogue with the guy that worked at the donut shop. Like everybody that came in,
was fire.
So like, every time somebody,
I thought it was gonna be like some old airhead, stupid type advice. This man was dropping
gems.
I was like, yo,
I'm just saying, like I'm really about to crush it. It's about to break through. Like, I feel like we could really like double team this thing. Like, how do you feel like that? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that was definitely dope. Fuchs is a sucker.
Man, is a sucker. The biggest sucker.
I thought it was pretty dope how the episode ended.
Yep.
The whole him looking at the red card and eating the food at the table where there is nobody, going back to like his one good friend, like that is pretty crazy. I like the introduction of the black detective that got murdered, her father.
Yes.
Who is like an OG. So for you,
he was Bunny Colvin from The Wire.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I didn't know his name, but that's definitely who he was.
Come on, man, my boy who saved Naaman. Who ran Hamster.
He the one who saved Naaman from the life that he wasn't built for.
He saved Naaman. At the end of the day, you really look at it. Bunny Colvin had a point, and they just didn't want to see it.
Yo, listen, when that man created
Amsterdam.
It's like, y'all can sell drugs as long as it's here.
Only in this zone.
He was like, hey, man, we going to the zone. You can't arrest us. All right, we digress. But that was definitely crazy.
That was one of my favorite seasons. I was like, Amsterdam season was
that joint was out of control, bro. Out of control. The streets was clean, though.
Everywhere but this wild area was clean.
Hey, Grandma could walk across the street though. She
couldn't even leave the crib at one point.
Right. But yeah. So I was both happy and disappointed because like you add a character like that to the show, you're hoping like, oh, he's gonna be the bad guy for the whole next season or something like that because he's that strong of a character. But it's only a few episodes left, so I'm expecting that these last couple episodes are gonna be very high intense. But I like the way everything is developing and how everything's coming together. I'm trying to figure out who's gonna actually be the one who dies.
Okay, so we're both pretty convinced that Barry's gonna make it out of this last situation that he's in.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because if he doesn't, there's no more show.
Yeah,
he definitely is going to be there to the end. I'm just wondering who's going to die. I don't think it's going to be Barry.
Okay, I don't think that. I'm pretty sure this is the final season of Barry too.
That's what I'm saying.
So, I don't think there is another thing to get through.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I want to see who's going to die. Someone's going to die.
Hopefully it's Sally.
She sucks, bro. She is annoying.
Even though like her journey, like I feel bad for her, like her journey, like in Hollywood, or like how things have gone for her and stuff like that.
But I did it because she was treating homegirl like crap.
At the same time, I can treat you in any way I want to treat you. You still collecting this check, like because like
she was acting like she was big time, and then that show got took off the air. She was just like, I'm not big time anymore. When Fuchs got popped real early in the episode, I was like, wow, this was a very random way to kill this guy off the show.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it, and I kind of enjoyed it. And then he was still alive. I was like,
Okay. Like he keeps finding these really young, attractive women that want to fall in love with him that he keeps running away from.
To try to get married.
It makes no sense.
But
I do like that aspect of his character.
I am enjoying the show, so this makes up for Dave.
Okay, is this the best season you think so far? Or did you enjoy season 2 more? I know season 1 wasn't the best for you.
Season 1 was not. It was kind of tough. The back end of season 1 was pretty good. I'm trying to remember some of the key stuff that happened in season 2.
Well, I mean, there's the Fuchs telling Henry Winkler about what happened. There's that murder. There's them acting out the really tough scene, and it's like, you know, her coming to grips with like her abuser and like stuff like that. There's like all that type of stuff.
Yeah, this season's better than that season.
Okay.
Yeah, that was an entertaining season though. I feel like each one it's climbing to a better higher echelon, if
upper echelon. Yeah.
There you go.
I feel like the agent detective is gonna save Barry from this poison.
You think so?
Yeah.
I feel like he knows that it's Barry.
I think he does too. But you also saved my life, bro.
He did save.
I feel like they're playing this like where he's just like, no, it's definitely this Berkman guy, and then like he's like real tough. But I think when it comes down to it, it's like, bro, I owe you my life. Remember, like I'll never forget that. Like I gotta get you out of this situation type of deal.
Right. Were you just killing bad people? Like
I'm trying to get down. Let me introduce you to my friend Dexter Morgan. Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that's what it's
But yeah, it is worth it. I think this was episode
5.
So it's like I think it's only an 8-episode season. All the other seasons, I believe, were 8 episodes.
So you might be right.
So it's only a few left. So we'll see where it goes.
I've been enjoying it thoroughly.
Yes, I have as well. Like I said, good recommendation. This covers up for the 1 episode or 2 episodes of Dave. That was good.
All right.
Next we have Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Or just Kenobi.
Or just Kenobi. Or just Ben.
No, the show's called Kenobi. It's not called that.
3 episodes out so far.
I have not watched a single one.
Sheesh.
It came out it dropped the same time as Stranger Things, bro. And I was like, one of these things is not like the other. One of these joints is getting skipped. And it was Kenobi.
Respectable.
Yeah. And was I right for skipping it?
Yeah, you can get to it when you get to it.
All right.
So you know how
The Mandalorian, Boba Fett.
How they all took their time to develop, as most Star Wars things do. This is exactly that way.
Okay.
But I do like the characters that are in it. You do know the time frame in which this is happening, right?
This is like right after Order 66.
Whatever that means.
It's when the stormtroopers turned on the Jedi. They execute Order 66, and then that's how all the Jedis got wiped out.
Yes.
And then, you know, that's when Anakin has his big fight with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then he flees.
Yes. So right now,
This is young Leia,
young Luke. Yeah.
Right.
So Kenobi is charged with watching over the upbringing of Luke. So he's like living in a cave that's not too far from where he's growing up. And Spanish dude from Law and Order. The old school Law and Order.
Spanish dude from Law and Order.
Yes.
I got nothing, bro. I'm gonna
have to look it up. But him and his wife take in Layla and they raise her as a princess.
Oh, you're talking about the? Oh my God,
yeah.
Senator Organa. He's whatchamacallit. He was in Dexter. He was the whatchamacallit. Like he was like the detective.
Yes.
I don't know his name, but I know who we're talking about.
Figure it out.
I never knew his name. He's not that big. He's not that great of an actor. But he plays Senator Organa. Like he was in the original Star Wars movies.
His face is not even on here.
Just type in Senator Organa.
I'm not gonna. Oh my goodness, why?
Do the microphone thing. I'll say it. Senator. There you go. Senator Organa.
This is crazy.
Look at he comes right up.
There you go. Okay, I don't need all of that. Come on, I'm just writing a copyright infringement. Yeah, bro, just give me his real name though.
It's got to be. It says played by, no?
Oh yeah, played by Jimmy Smits.
We did we spent 58 seconds trying to find this guy who doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Right. So there is some controversy.
I know. I was wondering if we were going to get to it.
Of course I am. You know I'm always going to get to it. I'm always going to get to it. So the main villain that is trying to track down Kenobi and bring him to Darth Vader, who is also looking for Kenobi after their big fight and him now getting into the suit, is none other than Reva Savander.
Okay.
And she's like, they have the Jedis who go rogue and they turn to the dark side. So she like works for Darth Vader.
Real quick, like I said, I haven't watched an episode.
Yeah.
But I've seen their outfits.
Uh-huh.
I know the bad guys always Darth Vader, like overarching, but it's like, is this Kenobi versus the Inquisitors? Is that like what they're doing? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So that's what they are. She's an Inquisitor, and then they have like head, like Emperor Inquisitors or whatever, and she wants to be the head person. So there's two things that people are disagreeing with. One, she's female, and two, she's African American. So two things that they hate seeing on Star Wars, because the big controversy before when
John Boyega.
There you go. They was like, why is he a Jedi? It was like the whole Samuel L. Jackson thing. Why is he such a dope Jedi?
Nobody questioned Samuel L. Jackson.
Because they know he would have showed up at their crib with a bunch of F-bombs
people like, what's in your wallet?
You'd had a gun in one
Let me show you what's in my mother.
You had a gun in one hand and a Royale with cheese in the other hand. All right. But so yeah, that's the latest. I think she's doing a great job with it. She's fully committed to the role, obviously, but
I haven't heard the best reviews coming from the show though.
Like I said, this is the reason why, because they'd rather see somebody else in that villainous part.
I've seen some clips.
Darth Vader had a very early appearance.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah, so they didn't wait to get him active in the show. So I think that's going to help as well. Like not having to wait for all those main characters that you have to eventually see, and you don't have to wait till episode 6, 7, or 8 for that to happen. Is he boys in this movie?
Is he using Hayden Christensen's voice, or is he doing the James Earl Jones voice?
No, he's using Hayden's.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, does he not wear the mask all the time?
There's a picture. There's a clip of him like in the tank, like one of those Boba Fett tanks. But then when he comes out of the tank, but as soon as he comes out of the tank, he's in the suit.
But when he talks, like it's not James Earl Jones?
No, I don't believe so.
So you're telling me that it sounds like when he's like, bring me Kenobi. He's doing like that. They start like, bring me Kenobi. Like, is that doing all that?
No, it's a deep voice. It just doesn't remind me of James Earl Jones. Like when he says it, I don't hear "Welcome to Bell Atlantic."
Of all the James Earl Jones lines, that's what you want for?
That's that old school payphone right there.
I have currently altered our deal. Pray I do not alter it.
But yeah, your boy's in this movie.
I got a lot of boys. You gotta be specific.
And he has a pretty stellar role. We'll see how it goes, but he's really into it. Your boy Han from Fast and Furious.
Get up out of here.
Han is in it.
There's family in this movie. Like, tell me, like, this is how we get to space, baby.
It's funny that you bring up family being in this movie because both O'Shea and O'Shea Jr. is in this TV show.
Wait, they're regulars or are they cameos?
I don't know. It's literally like I looked up the cast and crew, and both of their faces are there. And
did you see them in the show?
Not yet. But
Star Wars is kind of known for like having big actors play like an alien,
right?
And just like be in a scene, like just because people just want to be like, I was in a Star Wars movie. Like one of the more famous ones was Daniel Craig was James Bond, was in one of the newer Star Wars, and he was a stormtrooper, and like you would literally never know. And stuff like that because he was in it because he just wanted to be in the Star Wars movie.
That might be what it is.
They do stuff like that all the time.
That might be what it is. But you never know. If he pops up.
If Ice Cube and O'Shea are Jedis, this is the greatest show of all time.
just don't listen. Don't make me upset and they go to like a random bar and they're like DJing and rapping or something like that. Like, come on.
Listen, man. If I see like Ice Cube with a lightsaber and stab him through like his sternum, and he just like goes into his ear and just like with no Vaseline, I'd be like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my lifetime.
At that point, I would turn it off.
I shed a real tear. Shed tattoo tears.
I turn it off before it become a meme on every social media platform.
Or it's like they have like this really big battle. There's just tons of like dead Sith lords and broken robots, and they just sit down. He goes, today was a good day. Like,
that's what you should have went with first. That's what you should have went with first. That is respectable. All right. So
we get Chris Tucker, and he's just like, listen, man, you ain't got no job. Come on, man.
Stop. All right.
If they're on a Star Cruiser going to a planet, and he goes, are we there yet? I mean, like this show is excellent. Yo, listen, just bring me in the writer's room. I'm here. These are all gold, bro. These are gold.
No, you hit the stop sign on this one. Sorry. But yeah, so I'm gonna stay invested, see what happens. But like,
I'm gonna get into it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm not going to watch.
There's no rush. No rush. Aside from that, we had the ending to We Own the City.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you still didn't watch it?
I haven't watched since the last time that we spoke about it. Like, I'm 3 episodes behind. I'm pretty sure. Well, now it's the finale. So
yeah, it's only 7 episodes in total.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were gonna go for 8 at least.
No, because it's there's nowhere else for it to go once the true story ends. It's
okay.
Back. So it's only the 7 episodes where they get to the part to where like they get to sentencing and showing guys where they are and then their real picture and then how many years they got and all that other stuff. So
did it feel worth it?
It was educational.
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you.
No.
Would you have rather watch this or Dave?
Dave.
Okay.
Dave.
Because that's kind of how I felt about the show. I'm not gonna lie. Like when we missed the 2 episodes, I remember being like, "Oh, we missed 2 episodes, and I gotta watch 2 episodes in a row."
Right. So
that's kind of like how I felt about it.
The only reason I say that is because there is some dead time in the show when they're trying to get from one thing to the next, of course. But like, the real educated part was knowing that this was something that really happened in Baltimore. But that stuff is happening like this all over the place, like even right here where we live, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, there wasn't much shock value to it, but like for people who think stuff like this is not happening, I think it's very important for it to be watched.
Okay.
We can get to the chunky stuff now though.
I do like chunky.
Stranger Things came out, 7 episodes.
I just finished the 4th episode.
I'm done with all 7.
I figured you would be.
Yes.
I will. And as soon as I sat down and I started watching like the first episode, I was about to swear. I was like, man, did I miss Stranger Things? And I was like, I'm 100%. And like, I was mad that I didn't have the time to really body it like I wanted to. But I was like, I really like the Vecna villain.
Yep.
So that I like where the kids are, or like where pretty much everybody is.
Yeah.
One of the things that Stranger Things does better than most shows, and it's like one of my favorite things that they do, is they do a great job of finding a way to separate all their casts to then bring them back.
Yes.
Like everybody has a piece of the puzzle, but no one has the whole puzzle until they all get together.
You're just waiting to be like, just get together.
Yeah.
Please. Hurry up.
They do the thing and it drives me crazy, but I understand why they do it. And I think it's a good storytelling tool. Cause like you as a watcher are just like when two people that know if these two people talked, they would have all the pieces that they would need to the puzzle, but they never ask each other the right questions or say the right thing.
That was a strong P when you said that, people. So it's okay, keep going.
But it's like they both have the piece that each other needs to the puzzle to figure this thing out, but they don't say the right things or ask the right questions. And you're sitting there like, just tell them this, just tell them this. And then they find a way to be like, all right, cool. And then they leave and they're like, oh,
your boy Dustin's not playing, man.
He never is.
That man is Mr. I know everything. Please start listening to me. I'm not the little kid that was guessing stuff. Now I'm telling you.
My man got front teeth now. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
He got to work on that walk though. There's a little scene in the woods where they gave him full body because usually it's just top half of the body when they acted. They gave that full body walk away.
Like, that Kyle Lowry ass.
But Dustin's my guy, man. I wanted to take a poll on how short of time span is going to be before you see a Lucas jersey on somebody somewhere.
Come on now.
Especially considering he had the number 8 on there like it was Kobe.
They said that's why he picked it. He picked it specifically on Todd or Kobe.
I already knew. I already expected that. So I have no doubt that there's going to be a Tigers Lucas jersey on somebody at some point in time. If I had to make a bet, it'd be Fabulous first.
Come on now.
And then everybody else. I will tell you, without ruining anything, you're really going to enjoy episode 7.
So the mid-season finale.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I tell you why?
Go ahead.
It won't ruin it. But that episode is what's his name? Vecna,
yeah.
Origin story.
Okay.
And episode 7, the origin story.
It get crazy.
It's super dope.
Okay.
Because do you have an idea of who you think he is?
Oh, like he's an actual person that we know?
Yes.
I did not think that was going to be the case. All right,
so
I thought it was literally just going to be something from the Upside Down.
No, so there is a connection to the show. Mm-hmm. I don't want to ruin too much. I'm going to tell you who my guess was, and I was completely wrong.
Okay.
But I thought it was old girl's brother that died in the mall.
Billy.
Yes.
Okay. Now that you're saying that, if I was to take a shot in the dark / guess, I'm going to say their old teacher they used to run to, and like he used to tell them, like he would tell them about like time travel and like how you do stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's not him because I can tell by the way that I'm talking.
Right.
That your face as I'm talking, I was like, no, it's not him. No. But if I was to take a shot in the dark, that'd be my guess.
Listen, when you see the origin story, you're gonna be like, you have to hit me up after you watch that episode. We'll save all the material for the pod, but you have to call me and be like, yo. You don't have to say nothing. You can just call me and be like, yo. And hang up. I'm like, he watched episode 7.
I might literally just text you and I'd be like, yo, Dustin's dead?
Yo, the way they brought it together, because you know how I hate lazy writing, especially when you
can I take another guess?
Yes.
When Hopper got teleported to go however he got to Rush. Is it evil Hopper?
No,
like I'm with it.
That's pretty dope though.
All right, I'm with it.
Hopper's story is dope too.
Could you have not screamed when that man tore your leg up like that?
Yes. Are you serious? But Hopper's built different, bro.
No, I said, could you have not screamed?
I said no. I would have hollered. I would have hollered.
Ah!
I would have got to the point where I was like, "Yo, hit out!" And be like, "No, chill. I gotta figure out another way. This ain't it. This ain't it." Or I just been in the woods like this.
Yeah,
with the chain still.
You are not. There's no way after that first question cracking me again.
No, he was like, again, no, fam, no.
And then he's like,
right.
And I was like, listen, man, I know that I don't have the highest pain tolerance. I know for a fact your boy is folding.
Right.
That's why, like, I always watch movies with torture scenes, and I was like, they would have been got whatever information they needed out of me, or I would have just lied on some shit. Like, I would have been like, listen, because like. Right. And the second they start bringing like clamps to put on my nipples and like weird things to cut my wiener with, I'm like, yo, I'm done.
Yeah. I'll tell you whatever you want. I'll tell you an elaborate lie if you believe it.
Yeah, like whatever you need.
But nah, I'm really, like I said, what was getting me is like when you get to last seasons and last episodes, you start seeing the writing start to diminish because people don't know where to go or they get lazy. I like the fact that the Upside Down is still there, but it's not the same villain. So it gives them a fresh start for new creative writing. These first seven episodes were magnificent, if you ask me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so far, I'm just like, the show's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the almost, I don't want to say it's the complete opposite because it's not really true. Because I was going to say of Ozark. Because it's like, I thought Ozark's second half was really good as well.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
But, like I said, like, I was just like, I didn't realize how much I missed the show until it came on. Because it was one of those things where it's like, it feels like it's been so long where you're just like, did I like Stranger Things as much as I remember? And then it was like, as soon as it came back, I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I banged it all. Yo, with 11
to the roller skate ring.
I was gonna say when 11 tagged old girl in the face. When the next episode started and she was still there, I was like, why are y'all still at this roller skate?
Right.
I was like, it's the 80s. They don't got no cameras. I was like, no DNA. I was like, we could just go and get away with this crime. Like that's how this stuff works back then.
Yeah.
Like,
they didn't care.
No,
they didn't worry about crime.
I know we're trying to move on. But like, I'm a sucker for hype and like things that are built to hype you up, and it's like, stuff like that. And it's like nothing is better to me than a good speech / monologue. That's so, and like the things that they're telling you is like supposed to hype you up. When he was in that diner and he was telling 11 like what it really is, and he was just like, you are the only thing that could kill this thing. And he's like, what if I told you I could get you? That whole scene, I was leaned forward. I was like, yo, I was like, yo, I'm in. And then when they showed the card, she was in the backseat. I was like, let's go. I was solid.
What you call it starting to extend his range? I don't know if you know. Oh, you don't watch Kanan though.
No.
But one of the guys. So the basketball team, right?
Yep.
There's only 2 black kids. You got Lucas and then the other kid.
Yep.
That
the one whose mind's already getting touched by Vecna.
Yes, that kid is on Kanan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he anybody important?
Yes. On Stranger Things or on Kanan?
On Kanan.
On Kanan, yeah. He's like he's like a right-hand man for one of the uncles, like for running their drug operation. Yeah, so you should watch it. It's not a bad show. All right. So aside from that, please tell me when you get to episode 7. Like I'm literally gonna be anticipating you getting there because you're gonna be like,
depending on what time we finish this, I might try to bang out 2 episodes tonight. So.
All right, but you're gonna be like, yo, I did not see that coming.
I can already tell you right now, I can't see whatever it is. I don't see it coming.
No,
so like, it doesn't matter what it is.
No, it's dope.
Is it the white haired scientist dude that like was taking care of 11 for a while that was running those tests?
Nope.
Oh damn.
Nope.
I'm never gonna guess, am I?
No, you're never gonna guess.
Okay, cool.
And to be honest with you,
I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah, there you go. Because even if you like guess 17 more times, and in that 17 you was right, I'll probably still tell you no. Because
don't be that guy.
Huh?
Don't be that guy.
I'm gonna be that guy.
What I'm saying is like, if you're gonna do the thing where it's like, if I do guess it, don't tell me that you're not gonna tell me anyways, then don't have me guess. Like I understand, like if I was like, no, yo, please tell me, and you're like, I'm not gonna tell you, and then even if I guessed it, like you were like, I'm still not gonna tell you, that's different. But if you're like, oh, you'll never guess, and then I start guessing it and I guess it, don't not tell me what the guess is.
Sorry. I want you to enjoy it.
It's Dustin's dad.
Dustin didn't even have a dad.
Exactly my point. That's what I'm saying. Stupid character.
All right. All right. So
Bokeem Woodbine.
That would be hilarious, especially considering we never went back to Halo.
Yo, not even a little bit. You went back. I didn't go back.
I watched 3 episodes.
I watched 1. I watched the first episode.
Okay, you got it.
Apparently, it was a hit for Paramount Plus. By the way, it's already ordered like a season 2 and everything. Apparently.
Have fun with that. So other things to look out for is Kanan season 2 is coming back. The Boys are coming back.
That's really soon, right? It's July?
Yes.
Okay.
Season 2 of Stranger Things, or the second half, is July 1st.
We're getting it that quick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like, let's go straight. Like,
yes.
Thank you for giving the people what they want. You figured it out. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
And lastly, I know I've been talking about it, but Animal Kingdom is coming back as well.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I know when I eventually start getting into it, we'll start talking about it, but like, the challenge is back, right?
Yes. Well, no.
All-Stars.
All-Stars, yes.
I know we talk about Challenge All-Stars as the G League of the challenge.
Yes.
But it's like, you've been watching it?
Yes.
Is it entertaining?
It is. But everybody keeps making me upset.
I just finished the last season of Survivor. So it's like, I'm pretty sure the challenge is where I'm stepping into next. Okay. So like,
Okay.
We can talk about it when I start getting into it. You already know. Like, I love talking game and whatnot.
It's 3 episodes. You better get right.
That's it?
Yeah.
Should I watch the challenge or Kenobi? No, I'm kidding. I'm
The
gonna watch Kenobi. I'm gonna watch Kenobi.
The challenge is an hour long episode.
Go ahead. Where we at next with it?
All right, we Popcorn Papi.
Don't stop, pot that.
Hey, all right. First things first. Sad news.
Freaks all the honeys, Playboy bunnies, those white bunnies.
Hey, I don't know if this had already happened last pod or not, but R.I.P. Ray Liotta.
Passing asleep.
Okay,
that's always like a positive thing. It's like apparently it wasn't painful. Mm-hmm. Like I said, he just didn't wake up.
I've always wondered about that.
Oh, here you go.
I'm not saying I'm wondering because like, don't you kind of want to know when you go, like to go in your sleep and then like.
I think when you know when you go, that's when it's a painful death. Like you're like, oh, I'm going right now. Like this is a problem. I don't think for the most part. Like I would
go to sleep and then just not wake up and then like you know what I mean? It's just I don't know. That's all right. We digress. We could talk about it all.
Man, I would just feel bad for whoever found me. But like aside from that, it's I feel like that's the best way for you to go.
Yeah. So I didn't see how old he was.
67, I believe.
Okay, I was gonna say 57, so I'd have been way off.
Yeah.
But yep, 67. Been in a number of different movies. The most iconic one that everybody brings up is his role in Goodfellas,
which was playing on TNT, I think, like all weekend. And I caught a bunch of clips of it, and I was like, man, I love this movie. Yeah. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it definitely was a strong one.
He was in Shades of Blue with Jennifer Lopez TV show.
Oh, okay. I mean, we could run through a bunch of stuff that he was in. Just, I don't want to say 67 is super young, but it's not really like old,
Yeah, well, you're middle-aged.
Yeah, middle-aged. So it's like, you wonder like what health concerns he might have been battling. It seems like it's a new trend for people to just be quietly be dealing with something and not bother anybody with it. And then when it happens, they're like, oh, they were suffering from this, So if I could say anything, prepare your loved ones, It's like, I know it's tough to break that bad news, but it's way tougher, as you said, to walk in and find a loved one that's no longer there and you don't get a chance to have those last moments or say those goodbyes or prepare for that loss, So
I don't know what's the best or most appropriate age, but I would say when you yourself are 25,
okay,
like that means like your parents are obviously at least 25 years older than you. It's like at that point in time, like I feel like it's an appropriate conversation to be like, hey, so like, what happens if you go? Like, what's the next steps? I feel like that's a conversation people want to avoid a lot, and especially it's more the parents than the kids. Like, because people don't want to talk about their own mortality and stuff like that. But it's like the unknown of death is like the worst part of it. It's like the scrambling. Are you supposed to be here? Like, where does this go? Like, who gets this? Like that type of stuff. Those conversations make the grieving process harder for everybody else. So it's like I would encourage people. I think like 21 is tough because it's like, yes, you're an adult, but it's like you're also like in the very beginning stages, and it's like you have a lot going on. You're a lot less empathetic like at that time because you're very self-absorbed like at 21. 25 is a pretty solid age to like really have those type of conversations like with your parents.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it.
But R.I.P. Ray Liotta.
Definitely. We got 2 movies.
Mm-hmm.
One is one coming and one is one that's out.
Okay.
We'll do with the upcoming.
Okay.
It's releasing June 28th. It's starring none other than Freddie Gibbs.
Yep.
And it's titled Down with the King.
Okay. So you showed me the trailer right before this happened.
Yes.
And we had a bit of a contention.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, I think it's a documentary.
And I think it's a movie.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll find out. I'll do some more research. I mean, it doesn't come out until the 28th.
You want to give them the basic premise of this movie?
Yes. So basically, Freddie Gibbs is an artist. I'm pretty sure like he's already established himself as far as like being a good rapper. As most rappers do at some point in time, they hit that phase where music creatively is not coming to them anymore. So he takes the time to just get away from everything, goes to like this farmland where like all these white people stay. And he's like helping cut cows and pigs and raise the sheep and all that extra stuff. Just being in the country, being peaceful, and hopes that he can regenerate his creative process to get ready to make this album that he probably has a due date on, and probably has shows that he has to do. So in that time that he's being there, he's building relationships with the people that are there. He's again probably finding a new creative process for how he wants to do music, while he's still getting hit up by like producers and executives and managers saying, hey, you got a deadline, this is what we're looking for, like you need to figure it out. And like all that cloudiness, I guess I would say, while he's trying to be peaceful, and in a certain mind space is still interrupting all of that. So dealing with that and managing that while still trying to find himself in his music is basically where he's at.
And that's kind of like why I feel like this might be a documentary, or maybe not even a documentary of like, but just being like, I'm going to go try this thing. Let's film this, which I mean, that is a documentary, but it's like, in the beginning, he says that like, my father was a farmer. So it's like, like I'm not used to all this type of stuff. And I believe you said his father was a police officer.
Yeah, I think
and I was just
and his brother is.
Yeah, and I was like, I honestly don't know. And I was like, if you told me that his dad was a farmer and a cop, like, is that too far fetched?
It's not.
So like, who knows? But like, regardless of the fact, I was like, it definitely looks interesting.
It does.
So like, I'll say that, and like Freddie Gibbs, from the stuff that we've been seeing him in, has kind of been killing it acting wise.
Yes, he was in. What TV show did I first see him in? I want to say it was.
You saw him on one of the Power shows he was in.
No, he was
Force. Kanan. He was on one of those.
Maybe it was that.
It was one of those.
Yeah, it was.
Because I remember you were being like, "Oh, for special guest star Freddie Gibbs."
Yep, that's right. Right. So yep, it was probably Kanan. Maybe I think it was Kanan. No, it was the Tommy one. It was definitely the Tommy.
It was Force.
Yep, because he pays like a guy from down south, and he's coming to get drugs from Tommy and him. So yes, it was definitely Force. And then he was in
the Peacock show.
The Peacock show.
I want to call it Party
Bust Down, where he plays like the casino manager, where it's completely opposite from the other role, because it's like
he's
comedic relief. And
he's serious here, hilarious.
Yes, serious, hilarious, and
it really reminds me of Bernie Mac in Players Club.
It definitely was just like that, and he did a really good job with it. Now this one is like very in-depth, therapeutic, like centered. Man, what word am I looking for?
I feel like artistic.
Yes.
Kind of like the word.
Yes.
The best word.
And like all these Sundance things are popping up on the screen during the trailer, and it's like the one that's popped up is like star performance by Freddie Gibbs. You know, so I mean, he's killing it, man. He's killing it. I think the only other rapper that like recently got into a lot of acting that I think is doing a really good job with it, other than Freddie Gibbs, is Joey, who's been doing a really good job.
Okay. Who
was also in the Power universe. He's on Kanan.
Is that what 50's doing? Is he's giving all these rappers a spot to shine so that way they can move on up?
Why not?
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all.
It's pretty dope. Yeah. It's pretty dope. So wait
till we find out where the Power universe is going. I'm still waiting.
I know. That's a good one. So,
but all of them are done right now, right? Like they're all in some sort of hiatus. Like there isn't a Power show on right now.
All of them are finaled right now, and Kanan is set to release, and they haven't said what it's coming out on.
Okay.
But it's like very near.
Okay.
So we'll see. Maybe it'll be like a big premiere or something. Aside from that, the other movie that came out that you got to go see, I didn't get a chance to go see it.
No, you had a chance to go see it. You didn't go see it.
Yeah, but I was stuffy. I was a little stuffy, and I know they was giving me all types of crap about the whole COVID situation. The last thing I was gonna do is Joel be like, "I'm stuffy too, and it's all your fault. You're the outbreak monkey."
You could have sat somewhere else in a theater.
What is that? I'm like, yo, did you see that, Joel?
Yeah, because
no. Plus, I could have been sitting somewhere else next to someone else, and it's just as bad because I'm still could potentially get somebody sick.
Could have wore a mask throughout the whole movie.
Nah.
You also said you were going to see it yesterday. What happened? Or not yesterday, the day before. What happened to that?
Basketball.
Yeah.
So don't worry, I'm gonna see it, and I'm not gonna watch it on my phone. Don't worry, I got you because I know that would upset you.
You can't.
So have anything. I don't have anything going on tomorrow. No games. No. Oh no! First game of the finals is tomorrow.
But it's at 9:00.
Oh yeah, so I get your movie right out of the work and watch the game. I might be able to do that. We'll see.
I'm gonna try to see how much stuff I can dance around talking about this movie.
Please.
It is really hard to.
Would it help if I tell you what I know is going on?
No, you don't know. I don't want you to talk at all. I mean, the movie is very straightforward. I can tell you what it is from the trailers. This movie is Top Gun Maverick.
Yep.
It stars Tom Cruise and a host of other like very young actors. A lot of people you're going to be like, I know this person. I can't pinpoint where they're from. But like one of the biggest younger actors is Miles Teller, who is probably more famously known for his role in Whiplash. He also played Mr. Fantastic in like the really terrible Fantastic Four movie.
Yep. He's been in other stuff.
He's been in a lot of stuff. He's a pretty acclaimed actor too. Like he's a really, really good upcoming.
He was in Hunger Games.
I don't think he's in Hunger Games.
Definitely plays a bad guy in Hunger Games, I believe.
I don't think that's it. I think you're thinking about somebody else.
No, it was the Maze Runner. Was he a bad guy?
I think he is in one of the Maze Runner movies, yes. Which underrated. Maze Runner movies highly underrated.
Yes. And he also played the boxer that like breaks his neck.
I don't know.
Yeah, he like broke his neck and he was like in this big cast thing, and then he comes back and ends up fighting again. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
All right. Spoiler. So Tom Cruise is brought back to teach the Top Gun course that he was originally a part of in the original Top Gun movie. There is a very specific mission that they have to do, and Tom Cruise, being Maverick and being who he was, they have to fly a certain type of plane. He is the best pilot left alive because, like, since the last movie, like, I mean, R.P. Goose, stuff like that, and everybody else is kind of in bad shape. Tom Cruise, or I mean, we could just call him Maverick.
Is anybody else make an appearance, or just
there's quite a few appearances. There's quite a few.
Val Kilmer, I saw his picture on the wall. I was like, that's all y'all can use.
Because like, do you know like what's going on with Val Kilmer, right? Like why he like hasn't been acting and stuff like that?
No.
He has like a very rare like degenerating like disease where it's like physically like he like can't talk.
What?
And stuff like that. So like he's been in stuff, and it's like they usually work around like I'm telling like it's painful for him to speak type of deal.
Wow.
But they've worked around that like in certain projects that he's done, like they'll find a way to like they'll do like the Stephen Hawking thing where like he'll talk on a computer or something like that, or they'll have somebody speak for him and stuff like that, or they'll voice over his stuff because like he legitimately can't speak, and it's like I don't want to spoil like any sort of cameos or like anything that happens like in the movie, but like I said, because of this mission, like it's an extremely dangerous mission. They only like a specific level of pilot can even fly the planes that they need to fly in order to make this mission. And it's like they make sure this is the most video game mission like of all time. It's like you need to do this in this amount of time. You need to hit it at this level. You need to do this, and this. So the whole movie,
some Fast and Furious, right up your alley type stuff.
It is the best version of a Fast and Furious type situation, where it's just like they're literally training to run this 3-minute course that like they have like the whole mission is like they have to do this thing in under 3 minutes. The entire movie is them training for this one mission to get this thing down, and it's like they have to do it in like these older planes and stuff like that. So like they're like a lot of them aren't used to that and stuff like that. And like Tom Cruise is like, you know, he wants to fly, but he can't fly, but he's trying to teach him how to fly. He's trying to be a teacher. And then one of the kids who's played by, Miles Teller, is Goose's son.
Okay.
He goes by the name Rooster. Goes by the name Rooster.
Oh, so that's the guy who I was talking about.
What do you mean?
That's the guy who I was thinking is who plays the boxer and was the bad guy in Maze Runner.
Yes, dude, I've been talking about the whole time.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so like that's the basic premise of this movie. I'm not even gonna waste anybody's time talking about the rest of the nasty scale. This is a full price movie if I've ever seen a full price movie. Like I cried.
He didn't even say that for Doctor Strange.
Of all the movies, Doctor Strange. Like And I am trying so hard to temper people's expectations because like I don't want to overhype something and then people see it and then it's like, oh, you told me it was this, but it wasn't that. So I'm trying to not do that. It's one of the best movies that I've seen this year. Okay. Like I'm thinking of like as high as I was at, like as I left the movie theater and like as I was driving, I was like,
did Spider-Man come out this year?
Yes, it did.
It's better than Spider-Man?
Do you want me to tell you if it's better than Spider-Man?
Yes.
I think it's better than Spider-Man.
Wow.
This movie, I was like, is this better than everything all at once? Like that's what I was doing. Like, and I was just like,
wow.
I don't know where I am with it. I was like, this is the most man movie I've ever seen, where it's just like, whatever you liked about the first Top Gun movie, you're like, they're like, yeah, like all that stuff was cool. And like, you thought all that shit was super dope. Fuck that shit. Top Gun Maverick, let's go. But like, there's at least 6 times in this movie where I leaned over to my brother and I was like, yo, let's go. Let's go.
The guy who don't want nobody talking there in the movie.
I was like, he must be so annoyed at me. I was like, let's go. And then like there was one time where like they did something and I was like, yes. And the dude behind me was like, that's what I'm talking about. And I was like, my theater was like, everybody was quiet. All the parts that are supposed to be quiet. When things happened that were hype, my theater was like, whoa! They were going crazy. And I was just like, this movie is a thrill ride. You need to see it in the theaters because you need the sound because like all that stuff matters. It's so like so Tom Cruise is very well known for doing all of his own stunts.
Okay.
He's such a bonkers person that he was like, I will not do this movie unless you let me fly these fighter planes and stuff like that.
What?
So Tom Cruise is literally flying these jets in this movie. Of that, the entire cast had to go through G-Force training to learn how to fly these planes as well. So the scenes when they're flying and they're doing all the stuff, there's the camera in the cockpit and you can hear you can see the G.
No, bro, you're lying,
bro.
So everybody's flying planes.
Everybody's flying.
No, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. You're joking.
Everybody's flying these planes. I seen them. I read the things. I seen the behind the scenes stuff. Like the people that were in the movie, where they talk about, it was like, yo, this training is like no joke. Like I don't understand how people like really do this. And it's like we had to do this in a certain amount of time. And it's like I've seen the Tom Cruise fly, and it's like what I'm telling you, you can hear the wind hitting like his cheeks. It's like
what happens if you mess with the planes?
they broke like a bunch of planes, and like each one of these planes is like $80 million or something like that. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
This movie is like, and I think Jerry Bruckheimer was a big piece in this, and it's like Jerry Bruckheimer was like the name that you heard in the movies like all the time. He's like executive produced like movies like Bad Boys and Jurassic Park, like he like all this stuff that you think of and like those stuff. Like Jerry Bruckheimer had a piece to do with this. They made sure, because we got a danger zone. Like they did the danger zone, they did this stuff, and it was like I was like, this movie feels like a 90s movie, but like how 90s movies I was like I'm telling you, like I'm rubbing the seat, like I'm like, this movie is so good, like it's so my god, I'm sorry, but like
oh my goodness, all right, I'm gonna see it.
And I was just like, and like I left, and like the people did the standing ovation, and like I hate when people do that. I thought about doing it, but I was and like
what commercial was that when he was like, stop clapping? None of the people who made the movie are here.
I can't remember. Like I urge you, as much as I pleaded and I begged for everybody to go see everything everywhere all at once, and nobody went to go see it still, because I'm still waiting for someone else to talk about it besides Paige. I texted our boy Pythagoras before this because he said that he was going to see it today. He texted me and was like, movie made me cry twice. And I was like, two times less than me, but it's still, and then he wrote back, let's fucking go. And I was like, that's what this movie, that should have been the tagline for this movie, because that's all it is. It's just a whole bunch of this, it's hype moment after hype moment after hype moment. And like one of my favorite things about Top Gun, the original one, is just how cool their call signs are. Like the names like Maverick, Iceman, Goon, like stuff like that. I said Goon, I meant Goose.
Shout out to Goon.
Yeah, shout out to Goon City, man. But they get some dope names in this one too. Some of them might be better than the original Top Gun names.
Ooh.
Like there's some names that are up there that I was like, I heard his name and I was like, this movie's cold-blooded, boy.
Is there a black pilot?
There's a couple black pilots. Oh. There's 2 black characters in the movie that aren't even they're not pilots, but like they're in the Navy as well. Like they were former pilots or something like that. They have some of the like most fired nicknames. Like one of the dudes, his name is Warlock. And I was like, what a cold ass nickname, stuff like that. And they were like, and like, you know how like when they do the thing where like walk into the room, they're like, let me introduce you to the team. This is this person. This is this person. They're like, this is Warlock. I was like, ooh. And he was like, this right here, this is Hondo. And I was like, yo, I was like, this movie's it's so cool. The movie's so cool. That's all it is. I was just like, damn. I was like, at no point, like, is any of this really corny? And it's like, that's the problem with like a lot of 90s movies is 90s movies are really, really great, but like, they're pretty cheesy. And it's like, they gave us some cheese like in this movie, but they were just like, nah, like, we're going to take you with like, you're going to be doing dope stuff the whole time. And I was like, I don't know as a kid watching this movie, how do you not watch this movie and be like, I want to be a pilot? Because like, they make it seem like it's the coolest thing that you could ever be. And it reminds me of, I don't know if you remember when Jurassic Park first came out, like there was an extreme rise in people wanting to be archaeologists and paleontologists because like people, because like that's how big Jurassic Park was. And it's like, I know we have Jurassic Park coming out, stuff like that. But it's like, I wanted to say this other piece because like, I feel like we'll talk about the actual movie, like when you see it. This movie is a legacy movie. And we've been getting like a lot of these movies where it's like, we haven't seen, we're bringing back these old franchises and we're bringing back these old characters. Jurassic Park's a great example. The Spider-Man is a great example. Like a lot of these things.
Soon to be White Man Can't Jump. I'm still cringing.
White Man Can't Jump. A lot of these old franchises, and it's like they never 100% get it. Right. You know what I mean? Like Terminator's been trying to figure it out for a long time, and it's like they can't figure it out. Type of deal. Too. Top Gun has figured out the formula, and whatever the formula is, whatever the other movies need to be like. All right, like Top Gun did it. Like this is what we're supposed to be doing. Like they need to just do that. I don't want to say because like, you know, like everybody has the thing is like, well, is it better than the original? Stuff like that. Top Gun is one of the most iconic movies of all time. I will not say what my thought is on that until you see this movie. And then we could talk about which movies do you think was better.
Okay.
The end of the day, please do yourself a favor and go see Top Gun and please see it in theaters. Top Gun Maverick.
Okay. All right. I think it's time for us to go into this Hardwood check-in, man. All right. That man went in just now. Voice crack there.
Like how I slowed it down.
I did notice that. Good job. So
it's just good job.
Good job. What you want me to say? Good job.
We did finish 2 series. I mean, one of them was less climactic than the other. We got the finale of the Golden State versus, Dallas.
Yep.
With Golden State taking that victory pretty handily, 4-1 in the series.
We saw that happening.
I mean, we could do like the quick thing of like, where does this put the Mavericks now? Or like Luka, like what did they look like?
If Luka could come, Luka won 1 game. He was like, what if Luka won 3 more games? It was boost him to superstar status.
It was a question that needed to be asked. I think he's already a superstar. Like, don't get me wrong.
I think he's definitely does not have the team around him that he needs to.
Absolutely. So like I'm saying is like if you're the Mavericks and like we know how Mark Cuban is, like he's gonna be like these are the pieces that you need. Like what do you think Luka needs around him? Like I mean, I know you really like Dorian Finney-Smith. I know you like Jalen Brunson, right? So like those guys kind of got to stay.
So to be honest with you, if you can really get a premier wing player and you can package some picks, Dinwiddie and Dorian Smith, I say get rid of that. Keep Jalen and get somebody on the wing.
Like an offensive player or like a defense player? Like are we talking about like a Bradley Beal, Donovan Mitchell? Like those type of guys?
Yeah, not a Donovan. I can see a Bradley Beal, not a Donovan.
Okay, so you want someone to play like his Klay Thompson almost.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody that you know could be not the best defender, but can still guard, but like they can shoot pretty well and will slash the lane and finish at the rack.
Do you have anybody at the top of your head, or is this just like a thought?
Nah, Bradley Beal was a really dope assumption.
What about like a Cam Reddish?
No.
He doesn't do it for you?
No, I feel like he already has an equivalency of that with Dorian Smith and Dinwiddie.
Okay.
And not saying that both of them add up to Cam. It's like having 2 Cams.
Like a Devin Booker type person?
Ooh.
I know Devin Booker's really high,
right?
Obviously,
right.
But what I'm saying is like that type of player more than anything. Like you don't need like a Jaylen Brown. Like you need like a more of a shooter than anything.
I can see Kyrie in the Dodgers jersey.
Kyrie Irving is the guy you want next to Luka, Mr. Dribble the air off the ball.
I can see him and a Dallas jersey.
What about someone like a Marcus Smart instead?
Ooh, that would be dope. Because I don't think it would cost that much.
I mean, that depends on what happens with these Celtics.
Yeah.
Like if they wind up winning, then it's like, yeah, we're not getting rid of Marcus Smart because like who knows what this thing could be.
Right.
But if they get smoked, and it's like Marcus Smart is one of the reasons why they get smoked.
I don't want to say they're gonna get smoked because I said 6 games. I said 6 games.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
4-2 does like when you say 6 games, like yeah, they won 6 games, and you'd be like 4-2, like man.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about this year. We're gonna talk about it.
But yeah, he like Luka just needs help. I don't think it's a lot of help that he needs.
What about Jordan Poole?
Jordan Poole would be a dope fit too. Jordan Poole would definitely be a dope fit. Whoever can play that wing that's not afraid to shoot the ball, like I said, can slash the lane, draw defenders, kick it out to Luka, or when Luka's doing that, he can kick it out to somebody that he can trust. Because like Dorian Smith is dope, but like he's inconsistent. You don't know what he's going to show up, when he's going to show up. You know what I mean? So it's just like you want somebody you can depend on. So, you know me. I'm big on consistency. You know, and in order to win championships,
Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, there you go. Rudy Gobert.
There has been talk about Rudy Gobert potentially being like a piece that they might need there as well.
I'm just wondering what you have to give up and how that helps them.
I mean, with the way that like the way Utah season ended and like the way that like it seems like there's a rift between Donovan and Rudy Gobert anyways.
Yep.
I think he can be had. Like if I told you that you were going to give us Dwight Powell, Tim Hardaway Jr., Spencer Dinwiddie, and a first-round pick.
Who's missing?
He was hurt. Yeah.
Yep. That's big. No, they're gonna want more than that for Rudy Gobert.
I think it's gonna be tough to find that. Not to say that Rudy Gobert is not good enough for that. I just don't think a lot of people I don't think people realize like how much stressed people's assets are now.
Man, he went from being a top 10 center to not even giving up enough to get him on the team. That was a quick turnaround. Oh, now you don't want to say nothing? Now you don't got nothing to say?
I mean, it speaks for itself. No, like quick turnarounds, like almost like our boy G Head over at Custom Merch on IG and Etsy. Go over there and type in a promo code Heavyweight Bros called HW the number 8 BROS to save you 10% off your order because the more you spend,
the more you save.
But yeah, but like, yeah, like I said, it's like I don't think that like Rudy Gobert can't be had. I think it's just not enough for someone like Rudy Gobert. Like if you're Dallas or if you're Utah, you want more for him. But I think they're going to find out that a lot of these teams' assets are kind of stressed out. Like it's going to be really tough to get everything that you want for him because he's not a superstar. He's an all-star. And it's like people aren't willing to pay those big prices for all-stars. You pay those big prices for all NBA type talent, which he has been. It wasn't, you know what I mean?
You want to make sure to get something that's kind of a top 10 talent, not top 11. I get it. What you're saying. I just don't think, all jokes aside, I just don't think Rudy is what helps get them over the hump. So if you're thinking they're trying to at least get to where they got this year, like you have to really strongly consider like what were you missing or what do you need to add that helps you to beat a Golden State or that helps you to convincingly beat a Suns team again.
What I'm saying is like, and you think it's a perimeter player because I do think it's an interior player.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So you feel it's an interior player. I think it's a perimeter player. Because once Tim Hardaway comes back, I'm assuming like Jalen Brunson will play the 1. Tim Hardaway will play the 2. So it's like Luka will play the 3 or the 4.
Plays the 3.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, he could still play the 4.
I don't think it's a good idea to have him play the 4. He's already not that great defensively, and you're going to put him against power forwards.
Not that great. It's an understatement. But I didn't realize how bad Luka was at playing defense until I really got to watch him in the playoffs.
He exerts a ton of energy on offense.
Yeah, but he doesn't even really look like he's giving effort on defense.
I feel like they used to say the same thing about Jokic, and that's like I feel like that's not 100% the case. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, here's another person.
Okay.
Someone who I feel like also could be had that we brought up at one point in time. I don't know if they have the assets for him. If Minnesota says, like, listen, we got Karl Anthony Towns, and we're going to put him next to Luka Doncic, you pretty much got to give up the farm.
I think we talked about this already, right? You have to give up the farm. But what do you mean by the farm? If you can keep Jalen and Tim Hardaway Jr.,
you're giving one of those have to go. Like, you're only getting one of them.
Oh, that's so tough.
Like, I think Dinwiddie has to go.
Yes.
Finney-Smith or Dwight Powell, like one of the big men have to go. You keep Kleber.
Okay. Couple picks.
Bunch of picks, and it's like I said, and it's like either Tim Hardaway or Jalen Brunson. You'd want Jalen Brunson, but it's like I feel. What if they told you you give up both Jalen Brunson and Tim Hardaway, and they throw in D'Angelo?
Ooh. Yep. I don't know. I really like Tim Hardaway Jr., bro.
Yeah, he's just going to Minnesota to be with Anthony Edwards.
Jalen Brunson did ball. Man, that's tough. I might mess around and pull the trigger on that.
I'm saying, like, you think if you're the Timberwolves, you have your backcourt of the future, Jalen Brunson and Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
And then, like, everything else is kind of just like there's a bunch of spot-up shooters around them. That Jared Vanderbilt's pretty good power forward.
Yeah.
But, like, for the most part, it's like you're building for the draft.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons I say, like, I could pull the trigger on it is because it's not like you're getting two old guys. Like, D'Lo and Cat are still in a good age to where they can give you significant years and potentially play for a championship.
I mean, enough about this series. Like, I know, like, when we get to the off season before the season starts, we'll do our season preview and we'll talk about these teams more in depth during that time. Yeah. But the other game 7 that we had, I mean, we had game 6 and 7, which we didn't get to talk about, which was the Celtics versus the Heat. Which, I mean, I don't know where you want to start with this. Like, if you really even want to start about game 6. Which we thought they were going to close out.
Right. I don't want to talk about games that were not entertaining. I almost turned off game 7, to be honest with you.
Well, because it started off crazy.
It started off terrible, and I was just like, oh, man, what is going on? Like, this is not NBA basketball, not playoff basketball. And then eventually it began to pick up, and there were some lead changes, and things started to get scrappy. I was like, okay, this is the type of basketball I want to watch.
I was like, I thought it was a great game.
Yeah, it was definitely a great game. Definitely turned out to be a great game, and ultimately – The big decision is, was Jimmy right for shooting the 3, or should he attack the basket against Al Horford? Like, in hindsight,
asking me, or are you telling me your part?
I'm giving my part. So in hindsight, of course, everybody's going to say he should have drove the basket because he missed the 3. But if he had hit the 3, then everybody would have said, oh, big guts, great shot by Jimmy. I'm at the position where even if he hits the shot, I'm saying it's a bad shot because – like, I know you were hitting, you were having a great night. Last game 6, you put up some points as well. But, like, if you don't have another possession to make up for this, this is not a good decision in transition and basically a 3-on-1 fast break to where you can get a better bucket. More importantly, everybody noticed that Al Horford was on his heels. You give a hezzy, he has to come up, and then you attack again. That brother may fall or foul you. Or if you just go straight at him, which Jimmy had been doing, you mess around, get a layup in an and 1, and you get the 3 points the hard way that you was looking for anyway. So I just think, like, he kind of succumbed to the pressure of those last few seconds of the game 7, and he allowed himself to get sped up and get flustered, and he made a bad decision.
I'm on the complete opposite end of that. I'm like 100% like, you take that shot. Like, I don't know about you, but I was like, anybody that was rooting for the Celtics, like at that point in time, the second that he picked the ball up, everybody stopped breathing.
Yes.
I was like, oh shit, because I was like, this dude's about to crush this shot, and he just missed it. Mm-hmm. I think if he would have took a little bit more time, like it seemed like he was going to do that, and then he realized how far back Horford was, looked at the clock, and was like, yo, we can still get one quick possession out of this. He's like, if I bang this though, it changes the entire game. Now the Celtics have to either go for the 2 or they have to go for the 3 to try and win, and then they scramble.
They would only put them up 1.
No, the Heat were down 1. It was 98-99. So if he bangs the 3, they go up 2.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah,
I thought they were up 2.
No.
So that makes it an even worse decision because if you go and get a layup, you're up 1.
Yeah, but I mean,
no.
But like, can we talk about who's down there? Like, we're talking about Al Horford, like he's a bum.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is every time they got a mismatch off of some type of screen or rotation help, he had always killed Al Horford around the bucket. Like he would scoop up a little layup, or he would hit the little mid-range, or he would at least draw a foul to get to the free throw lane. Mm-hmm. The speed and the agility is different. That's why Al Horford was on his heels. He had no way to contend with that. Mind you, you just say you got a call from D Wade that morning. You could have attacked Al Horford with a Euro and got to the rim and got a layup. Like that, the extension that he would have had to put into to try to stop him from getting that layup, even if he misses, he still gets fouled and shoots free throws. Never mind the fact he had 2 guys running the wing. So even if, like, I mean, I wouldn't have went to the left because freaking PJ Tucker was over there, and this man acted like he didn't want to make a shot for Jimmy all night. To the right, I think he had Kyle Lowry, maybe.
That sounds about right.
And that man was turning into a freaking pumpkin right before our eyes. Like every time him or Oladipo got the ball, it was cringy. I'm just like, please give the ball to the guy who allowed you to wear this jersey. It's just like, it's crazy. Don't pass the ball to Auntie Lowry and don't pass the ball to PJ Tucker. Just go and get your layup and be done with it.
I mean, but then like we talk about in hindsight too, like I give Al Horford like a ton of credit. And it's like, I think he's an incredible paint defender. And it's like, I think the situations that you're talking about before are a little bit different because it's like now we're in a set offense. I'm coming off of picks. I'm doing all this other type of stuff. Like I can't 100% commit to you because I know there's a 3-point shooter over here that I have to shade over to. I got to do all that stuff. We're on this transition. If you are full coming into me, like I know how to play this. Like you're playing into my hands at this point in time. Like I just had to deal with Giannis last series, and it was just like I played amazing against that brother, and it was like I know that I have a good chance against you, and I know how to challenge the shot without fouling you.
Okay.
And it's like, you know, I could do all those things. I think the shot was way too open. I think he was insanely hot this whole game. I just think that he played the entire game and then it caught up with him at the last second, and it was just like you were just short. He was just short, and that's like
he limited himself.
And it's like I say, like or like you said. He hits that shot like we're talking about a whole different conversation this morning. Yeah. This is why. This is the Heat culture. Jimmy's got that dog in him. This is why he's the postseason superstar.
Why do people go to buffets?
Because there's a lot of food there.
Options, right?
Yeah.
You drive the lane, you have more options. You got a pull-up jumper.
You taking a shorty out? You taking her to the buffet? Or you taking her to the nice fancy restaurant? The sure thing, the flashy thing. The thing that's going to get you put on IG. Nobody takes IG pictures at Golden Corral.
They also don't take IG pictures of the person who bought the food. That's why dudes is out there now like, yeah, I paid for it. Listen,
not everybody could be a hero.
Listen, we go into Goldies.
You go to Goldies when you're secure.
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't secure there.
Listen.
It was like, what you call it? Like, we needed something.
Listen, man. Listen. Nah,
I keep listening.
Nah,
I don't care. Like
that man spent that money on that tab, and
that was like
the food was not
like
good. He did not get a second date.
As sour as I've been on Jimmy Butler for like amount of time, like that at that moment, like when he took that shot, I was like, all right, like whatever they've been saying about this dude, I was like, he's got it, and I was like, and if this joint goes down,
did Jimmy change your mind?
He was about to, like I was saying, and it was like, but I was
saying he was about to.
Yeah, because I was just like, yo, I was prepared to come on here and be like, yo. I was talking crazy about Jimmy this whole time. Whatever the stuff I was saying, I was like, apparently I was wrong.
You can still say that.
But it's not true. Like the shot didn't go down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, damn, I didn't realize he was like that. And then like all it did prove, I was like, yeah, it's not like that. But like,
listen,
I still thought it was like to me, it was like I wasn't mad at the shot. And granted, I was rooting for him to miss it and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, like the entire time, I was literally did one of these. I was like, oh, like he's about to, and then like he missed, and I was like. Thank God he missed. That's what I did. I was like, yeah, because
his teammates. I mean, ultimately, I know it comes down to that last shot, but ultimately, his teammates they sold him out.
Which teammates?
Strauss can't come down and hit a three and then come down and give somebody an A1. Like you can't catch a rebound, dunk, and then don't get back, and somebody hits a three. There was literally only 2 people playing basketball. That was Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Those literally the only 2 people playing basketball. Everybody else was giving nothing. They were giving nothing.
Bam Adebayo was playing basketball?
He started off rocky. The same way the game did. Same way the whole team did. Mm-hmm. And then him and Jimmy had the majority of the points.
But if you're supposed to be that good, like, you can't be a pumpkin in these moments, right? Like, you got to show up.
He wasn't a pumpkin. He was going at Al, and he was getting
like 13 points in like game 7.
What did Al finish with?
He shot like 30%. Al Horford had like 8 or 9 points, but that's what Al Horford does.
Not in these playoffs. He's been balling in these playoffs.
Yeah, he's been going above his level. Like, he's been playing above his level.
Okay, so
there's no Robert Williams down there to make you look crazy.
He had a tough game because Bam was playing him better defensively because he was getting.
Al Horford did not have a tough game. He had 8 points, but like he made like he was shooting like 60, 70%. He made the shots that he took. He was running the offense more than anything. He was doing whatever he wanted to do. He was doing whatever he wanted to do.
Get a shot off.
All I know is one of the reasons that you said that Bam Adebayo was better than Rudy Gobert is he was like, yo, because he's a bucket. I know that if I give you a bucket, you will give me the bucket. Mm-hmm. Where were the buckets when Jimmy needed some buckets, bro?
Man, listen, man. 13 is still more than what Rudy was giving.
No, it wasn't. That's what I've been telling you. There's like Rudy Gobert was scoring more points than him and a higher percentage. This man was terrified of Grant Williams.
I'm not going for it.
Terrified for Grant Williams.
Who was guarding Rudy?
Nobody that crazy.
Huh?
Like nobody that great.
All right. So
what I'm saying is like Rudy Gobert put up the numbers.
You were just sitting here talking about how much you respect Al Horford and how well he's been playing. Mm-hmm. Did Rudy Gobert have to play anybody like an Al Horford?
Yeah, he had to guard the entire Dallas team.
No.
Like there's a all right.
I'm talking about who was guarding him. Hold on. Who was guarding him?
No, there was nobody that was that great guarding Rudy Gobert.
Okay, so he should be able to turn, spin, and dunk on somebody's neck, right?
You see what you're changing the point of what I'm trying to make.
Okay, go ahead.
Your point was like Bam is a bucket. I can count on him in the clutch. He's going to get us a point.
And I can't with Rudy.
And Rudy Gobert is not a bucket. Rudy Gobert averages more points. He plays better defense, and he like what do you mean? Like Bam looked awful this series. He had one good game. It was like game 2 or game 3. I'm pretty sure his averages for this series were like, it was like 12 points, like 6-7 rebounds, and he was shooting like 60%.
I'm gonna look up Rudy's averages right after we finish.
Go right ahead. You can look them up right now if you want to while I'm on this Bam
parade.
All I know is like you want to talk about pumpkins. Bam looked like a pumpkin this entire series.
Oh my goodness.
He looked like a pumpkin. Like
stop. Why do you not like Miami? First is Jimmy, now it's Bam. What's going on, man?
I'm speaking of facts. Like, see, that's the difference. Okay. Whenever I say that I don't like somebody, like I can admit that like they're good, I just don't like them.
Okay.
But like when you don't like somebody, you're like, oh, like they're not good and they're trash. But that's not 100% the case. I can be unbiased for this. I don't give 2 shits about Bam Adebayo. Like I think he's a top 10 center, maybe top 5.
We already figured that out.
Like what you got? Like oh yeah, you guys. I rewatched that thing. If you guys were talking out your ass like crazy. Like you literally said at one point in time, it was like, I really don't care. I just want to make sure I get 10 centers so Rudy doesn't get in here. And you were like, but you're tailoring the argument. Like you were tailoring the whole thing. You tailored the entire exercise.
I had to use the only weapon I had.
I looked back at it.
The only weapon I had.
I was like, Rudy Gobert's
either that I did not create.
I was like, Rudy Gobert's either the 5th or 6th best center like in the league, regardless of the fact. I was like, they're just talking like nonsense right now.
Sounds good.
But what it was. Because it is good. You know what sounds good? Calling somebody a superstar and he just doesn't show up. Like someone like Bam Adebayo. Like, so that's all I'm trying to get at is like all these great things that we were saying about it.
Superstar.
You did.
No, I didn't. I didn't say Bam was a superstar.
Okay. But you were saying that Rudy Gobert was supposed to be a superstar. And I never at one point said that he was that either.
I don't think I put that claim on you either.
You did. Like I said, I rewatched it. You definitely said, you're like, if you're supposed to be a superstar player, give me some superstar effort, and I need a bucket.
No, I said, if you're going to be a star, give me a star effort.
What's the difference between a superstar and a star?
The word super. There's a difference. And like you have all-stars, and then you have
Bam didn't even give all-star effort.
Oh, man, why are you doing this, man, like this, man?
Why did he play like this? Like, why am I not allowed to talk bad about Bam Adebayo?
I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, like, you are really downgrading this man. You are really downgrading this man.
If he wasn't even, I think he ended up being the 3rd leading scorer, like, on the Heat. But it's like, when I'm telling you that, like, Grant Williams is given, like, the same.
How about I do a Joel thing?
Okay.
All right. If you put Bam on Utah, are they more successful in the playoffs?
Oh, no, they're worse.
Okay, so if you put Rudy on Miami,
they're better.
They beat the Celtics?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
Like, Bam Adebayo looked terrified of Time Lord.
Wow.
I don't think Rudy Gobert is terrified of Time Lord. I think the defense looks different. 100%. Like, so this is the difference between Miami and Utah in general.
I think Time Lord would dunk on Rudy Gobert.
I mean, yeah, like that's what happens when you're a shot blocker. You get dunked on. Alonzo Mourning used to get banged on, and then like so did the Kemba Mutombo. Like that's what happens.
Fair point.
Like on Utah, like none of them are good perimeter defenders. So the entire defense of that team hangs on Rudy Gobert sliding over and stopping points in the paint and doing all that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. Miami's the complete opposite. There's Jimmy Butler, there's Kyle Lowry, there's PJ Tucker, there's all these other great perimeter defenders, and then Bam, like every once in a blue moon has to like slide over and he does stuff like that. If anything, Jimmy Butler's the main focal point of that defense. You take Bam out and put someone like Rudy Gobert in there, and now these guys know that like if these guys get by me, like Rudy Gobert's the person shading over. Like these shots are getting tossed, and like people are playing way differently. And like these baskets that you're asking him to do, because like they tried to give Bam the ball to get stuff happening, and like he was looking awful, like like trying to make offense happen. He was missing all his mid ranges that were supposed to be money, and he was doing all that stuff. You telling me like a pick and roll with Jimmy Butler tossing it up to Rudy Gobert isn't better?
No.
I mean, but you believe that like if you put Mitchell Robinson in offense, it looks better too. Like I'm just saying that like that's not the case.
Goodness.
Brooke Lopez was another guy that you threw out there, like Miles Turner. Like these guys are not better than Rudy Gobert. But I digress.
I do digress. I will still commit to say I'm taking those guys over Rudy. But we're gonna get a real accurate depiction of what you're saying when Rudy is in a different jersey next season.
100%. And I can't wait till we make the wager on it.
I can't either. I want to know what it's going to be.
He's going to wind up getting traded to like the Charlotte Bobcats. And I'm going to be like, oh my goodness.
Right. All right. So yeah, let's talk about the one thing we did not talk about.
There was one more thing I wanted to say.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So Jason Tatum
Yep.
ends up taking home the Larry Bird Eastern Conference Finals MVP award.
I didn't agree.
I didn't agree either. Do you have someone who you think should have won it?
Marcus Smart.
Okay. Why Marcus Smart?
Because he's literally the catalyst. For me, he's been the most consistent Celtic in the playoffs.
That's right. I disagree with you.
Oh my goodness. The finger is that's what I disagree with you.
I'm not saying that like Marcus Smart isn't a viable option or anything like that. I just think that there's someone who's been far more consistent on both ends of the floor.
Al Horford?
Al Horford, I think, the Dominican God had a case to win that MVP award.
Okay, I can go. Okay, do tell.
I think the offense first of all, I think the worst part of the Celtics offense is when they're like, we're going to run a Jason Tatum ISO. That's one of the worst things that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Smart has been great at like coming down and like facilitating stuff.
Yep.
But their offense really runs the best when Al Horford comes to the top of the key and he starts making the plays to get the ball to the right person at the right time. I think he was insanely valuable offensively, but like even more so, like he's had to guard some really, really tough people in the paint, and like he's done an amazing job at it. And he was their leading rebounder. And Time Lord went out, and like everybody was like, "Oh man, like this is gonna be like a huge thing." And it was like they did not really skip a beat like with him in there. And like they tried to do the Grant Williams thing for a while, and they realized that Grant wasn't it, and they decided to go smaller. And they were running like a lot of the lineups with Marcus Smart, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and it was like they were able to do those things because Al Horford on both ends of the floor was really, really holding it down. Do I think that Jason Tatum does not deserve this award? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that there is a case that like if they would have been like the award goes to Al Horford, I'd have been like I 100% see where they got there.
Yeah, and I would argue the same thing for Marcus Smart.
Which, like I said, I don't disagree with that. I just think that like with what you're saying about Marcus Smart, like Al Horford just did that like a little bit more. Like the numbers don't 100% add up there. But like,
for me, I don't think it's more because Marcus Smart had to guard all the best offensive players on all the teams that they played. Wow.
Jason Tatum did that. Jason Tatum guarded Kevin Durant. He guarded Giannis.
There's a lot of switches, though, because Marcus Smart guarded all those players, too, because you know how to pick and roll.
Who was the person that was swatting Kevin Durant and swatting Giannis? And it was swatting Jimmy Butler.
Yes. No, I give you credit for that. I don't know what happened in that whole Space Jam, touch the basketball, so will I situation with Kevin Durant. He definitely went full pumpkin. I do not know why. Jason Tatum definitely defended well. What I'm saying is, like, in the long stretch of the playoffs, like, Marcus Smart had to put in more defensive credibility throughout the playoffs while still doing everything offensively that people did not expect him to do. So without that little bit of gravy on the mashed potatoes, I don't think that the Celtics get over the hump. Like, you've seen it in the games where Marcus Smart missed, the Celtics lost. Or when he was going to the bench, that plus minus looked a lot different. But when he was on the court, not only is he defending, but he is facilitating. He is moving around, getting the ball to the guy who needs to have the ball in his hand, getting out of the way, getting some, like, I feel like whenever Time Lord and Al Horford went in the game together, or it was just one of them in the game and they weren't getting the rebound, the other guy that was rebounding was Marcus Smart, kicking it out for guys to get those 3-point looks. So, like, Like they're like, oh, another rebound. Jason Tatum knocks down the three. Like, great. Who got that rebound to get that over to Jason Tatum? Because he's not down here scrapping for this rebound. He's out here waiting for this kick out so he can knock down the three. So it's just like all that grunge work of like playing the complete game to add to the value of your team. I saw that in Marcus Smart, and like I already liked his game, but like my level of respect for his game like went up another notch after these playoffs.
I think,
and like you said, no discredit to Jason Tatum.
I think if there's one Celtic whose credibility has shot up the roof, it's most certainly Marcus Smart.
Definitely.
But like what I'm saying is like the same things that you're saying about Marcus Smart. I feel like it's more Al Horford. Like I think he's the reason why they can't crowd Jason Tatum, because like they have to be honest. The big man always has to be honest with Al Horford because he's been knocking down that three at a very high clip. He has been known to like handle the ball and like get it to certain people. He can get the ball in the low post and make something happen, or run the offense from the low post and stuff like that. And like he's had to guard these same people. Like that one game where they both missed, like Al Horford came back and dropped like 4 threes like in that game. Like all the things that they want Grant Williams to do, it's like really Al Horford's doing it. There was a couple games that Marcus Smart missed, and it was like they were blowout game victories still. And it was like Al Horford had a lot of like a huge hand in a lot of those things. But at the end of the day, the Celtics just played better basketball than the Miami Heat all the way through. I think they really missed Tyler Hero. Yeah. That was a big piece.
There were a couple games where I felt like the team that's not terrible is going to win. Yeah. There were a couple games where I'm like, both of y'all.
Yeah, look
really bad.
But I think that's what happens when we have two good defensive teams going at each other.
I guess you could say that. Yeah. But like, it's NBA playoff basketball. You know what I mean? It's just like it didn't feel that way in some of these games. And
absolutely
it's just like, of course, like towards the stretch, like once you get into the third and fourth quarter, guys are finally getting into rhythm. It's like, are you guys not showing up 2 hours before the game and getting up 1,000 shots before tip off? Like, what is going on right now? Like,
I think this rest before the NBA Finals is going to be big for the Celtics specifically.
Really, because I think these other brothers was like getting massages and sipping mojitos.
I saw Steph Curry on the golf course.
Playing Marchese, all types of crazy stuff.
I feel like they were looking like Goku on Namek with the thumb.
Right.
It's like, right. I still banging with the gimme force. Like, I've been done with that.
So, yeah.
Ready to get to the meat of this?
What is that?
I mean, we're going to talk about the finals, right?
Okay.
I know we're going to do a finals preview.
Okay.
And it's like, I know we just took a long time talking about that Celtics game and stuff like that. But I wanted to do a little exercise.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a game.
Okay.
And I kind of wanted to plot, because like I think the consensus is everybody thinks that the Golden State Warriors are going to just manhandle these Celtics. Like the Celtics are vastly overmatched.
Yes.
So like I want to play this game, and I want to
but they are overmatched.
And I want to play this game, and I want us to rank all the players in this series and like where they go.
Oh shoot.
Okay, so I think we can both agree the top 2 players in this series are Steph Curry and Jason Tatum.
Yes.
Who's the best player in the series?
I'm going Steph.
As would I. Steph. Tatum. So now we have the next couple guys. And it's like they're kind of lumped up. So like we have Clay, Jordan Poole, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. Who goes to the top of that list? I'll start the bidding. I think it's between Jordan Poole and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I just said no. Where?
I think Jaylen Brown has been butt cheeks these whole playoffs. He's been driving me insane.
All right, well, let's go Jordan Poole.
So you want to go Poole then Brown?
No, I was going to go Poole then Clay.
Okay, I'm actually here for this as well. So go Clay, then Brown, then Smart.
Yep.
Okay. Now we got Draymond.
Or Al Horford.
You got Draymond, Wiggins, Time Lord, Al Horford. I would make the argument for Time Lord.
You can't after all this you just said about Al Horford.
So Horford's the guy?
Yep.
Horford. Time Lord, Wiggins, or Draymond?
If I'm going just based off of playoff performance, I'm going Wiggins.
Okay, Wiggins. I didn't see you say that.
No, not at all.
Okay.
You know, one of those things.
Draymond and Time Lord. I think I'm leaning towards Time Lord.
Time Lord, yeah.
I gotta find out one day how he came up with that, or how he got that nickname.
Ask B Miz, I'm pretty sure you know.
Okay, now we're starting to get to like the role players. Kevin Looney, Derek White, Grant Williams. Who goes where?
I feel like you're leaving out another Golden State player.
You want me to tell you who I have on here? And these are the guys that like they play. That's like that was my point. Is like who actually plays.
Right.
After Draymond, I have Kevon Looney, Moody, Kuminga, and Bielitsa.
Go Grant Williams.
Okay, Grant. I was leaning towards Derek White, but I can see it in Grant. No. So now we have Looney, White, or Moody if you want to throw Moody in there.
Let's go Looney. And then White. Dang, I hate doing the back and forth though.
Now we're at Tice, Pritchard, Neesmith. The rest of these guys really don't matter.
I was about to say, what do we
So
do?
we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's just whittle this down to the top 10 players. So we got Steph. 1, 2, 3. It matches up 5 and 5. And it's like,
sheesh.
If you really, really look at it, they have the best out of the top 10 players. They have the best one, which is Steph, and the worst one is Draymond.
Mm-hmm.
So then you like Tatum, then it's like the pool Clay. So like out of the top 5 guys, they have 3 of them. But then out of the bottom 5 guys, they have 3 of them there. So it's like, I feel like this series is a lot more even than people seem to think it is.
So for me, it all boils down to championship pedigree. You know, you don't go to the prom your first time and end up being prom king. Like, that's only happening in the movies.
Can I just say this? These Celtics, like, while they haven't been to the finals, they are not strangers to the playoffs. They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals 4 times?
No, I understand.
Like, they've pretty much got beat by, like, LeBron or Giannis.
The finals are a different beast, though. All right, and if you think
I don't think it's that different.
If you're thinking about the teams that they beat to get there, right? So, like, how many of them really have like championship experience? So, okay, we'll say Brooklyn because it has Kyrie and KD on there. Then they played who?
The defending champion Milwaukee Bucks.
The Milwaukee Bucks. All right. Kind of a labor team, but they did fight through that battle. So you give them some credit there, right?
I give them a lot of credit.
Yes, I said give them some credit there. If you want to say a lot of credit, that's fine. I gave them their credit. All right. And then they go on to Miami, who's kind of really struggled to ever get over the hump.
They were champions 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, they went to the finals 2 or 3 years ago.
To the finals, yes, but I mean, it wasn't a hard road.
They had to beat the Celtics to get there.
It wasn't a hard road.
They had to beat Giannis to get there.
It wasn't a hard road.
Wait. Like, now we're talking like Giannis, who we agreed recently was like the best player in basketball. Like, they had to beat them to get there.
Bro, listen,
and they're not good.
No. What I'm saying is the increase in where Giannis grew from.
He was an MVP.
Are you gonna let me talk?
Go ahead.
All right. The increase of where Giannis grew from the bubble to him becoming a championship was a very big leap. You know what I mean? So once you do not win, you learn the things that you need to work on in order to be successful. And he's really good and meticulous about getting to those points to be successful. I'll give him credit with that. I feel like Miami really hasn't figured that out. They have a lot of young guys that don't have a lot of experience. They're pretty easy to beat. Celtics are maturing, and they're becoming that team to where you're saying, okay, they have the guys who are figuring it out. They've gotten their accolades. They've gone through some tough teams. But when you get to those finals, bro, like the poor shooting, the fatigue, the playing through injury, like all that stuff, and the last 7 games of the season mean a lot more than it is going just through your conference. And I don't know if they're prepared for that.
I think that they 100% are.
The one thing that I believe in that the Celtics have that plays to their advantage is their coach. I don't know what it is about Ime Udoka. I like that guy.
That brother leaves games and then goes home to Nia Long. He shoots 100% from the field in life.
And he's hung around Pop and won championships with the Spurs. So that championship pedigree and knowing how to coach guys through those tough moments could play in their favor. That's where I think the success has to come through. But if you're just saying like the players are going to be ready for this, it's going to be a tough challenge. That's just where I'm at with it.
In the regular,
and I'm not just saying that because I'm picking the Celtics to lose.
No, I get it.
It's just like
so I know the regular season is a different beast.
Yep.
The Celtics were the only team in the regular season to beat the Warriors twice.
Okay.
They're the only team to do that.
Who was playing? Everybody?
Yeah, this is like early, like when Steph was going bonkers. Steph wound up getting hurt in the Celtics game. Remember, it was Marcus Smart hurt him.
Right. Was Clay back too?
Yes. I think the only people that weren't back, I think Draymond and Wiseman were still out.
Yeah, we knew Wiseman was.
Yeah.
He has not come back. So.
Okay. But like Jordan Poole in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody was doing what they were supposed to do.
Factor is important though.
It is important. I remember I was the one, like at the beginning of the season, I was like, Draymond's the most important thing to this offense, stuff like that. I think he's super important. I think what I'm just saying, all the stuff that Al Horford does, that's exactly what Draymond Green does.
Okay.
Like they're pretty much like the Spider-Man meme on the court. They're pointing at each other. I think at this point in time, Al Horford is just better than Draymond.
That's hilarious. Spider-Man.
That's all it is. I can't believe Draymond made it this far down this list, but now that I'm looking at it, I think they match up just as well. Like you look at the top three guys, it's like who guards Steph, Poole, and Clay. It's like, well, we got Marcus Smart, the defensive player of the year. Mm-hmm. We got Derek White, who we could throw out there on anybody. We got Jaylen Brown, who we could throw on anybody.
Stop bringing up Derek White's name like that.
What's wrong with Derek White?
I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but he's not even in this top 10. I don't even know why you brought his name up.
I didn't bring him up. You're right. Yeah, or like he's not on here. He wound up getting erased. He got snapped.
You did.
which I understand. But what I'm saying is like we have the people to throw at him. So like
who does Tatum guard?
I think you can put him on Clay. You could put him on Wiggins. And it's like I think he wins whatever matchup that is.
Okay, so you'd have to assume between Clay and Wiggins, you're just saying Tatum and Brown.
Yeah.
And then Marcus Smart, Steph, Al Horford, Draymond.
That's a dub on the Celtics side.
So the last matchup is
Time Lord, bro.
Against who?
Looney?
Oof.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Warriors would have to pull out their death lineup, which would be Steph, Poole,
Clay,
Wiggins, Draymond.
Yes.
And it's like they're like, okay, we're gonna pull out our death lineup, and then as much as you hate them, it's Marcus Smart, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford.
I don't hate it. He just looks like Walmart shaman, like
not Landry. Good God. I don't know. I just think it's a lot closer than people think it is, and I think people are looking at it to like this is a championship team, so like that. But like they were also I mean,
go 6 games with the Warriors. That's pretty good, man.
I'm not saying that you're wrong in the 6 games either, or even wrong for picking the Warriors at all. I'm just pointing it from the other side where it's just like I've heard a lot of things. It was like, oh man, all that to get swept by the Warriors, all that to then get to like Steph Curry to get this easy ring, and I was like, I don't think it's gonna be as easy as they think it is. What if the Warriors? Who have the Warriors had to compete with this year that has been like so crazy?
Facts.
Luka Doncic was just taking their ass last series and like what's called. Granted, they got him out.
Because who they play first round?
Come
on, Joe. You're supposed to know this stuff.
No, because I'm trying to remember because they weren't the number 1 seed. They were the 3 seed. I can't remember first round, but second round was Memphis. Grizzlies. That was second round.
They played Memphis second round.
Yep.
So first round who was first round? Was it Memphis, Mavs?
Denver. They played Jokic.
Okay, your boy, MVP.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, should it have been? It was Jokic and a bunch of G Leaguers, bro.
Yeah, you're right. Memphis, them boys was balling.
Yeah, and then John died, and they still got blown up by 50.
Said John died.
Yeah, John, do you remember that? We're like, oh man, John just like it's whatever. A 50 burger got put on him.
No, listen, I just think Golden State's doing a really good job of making teams look human.
I'm just saying, like, I feel like these are kind of like the same signs that we saw from Phoenix, where it's just like, oh, like, why are the Pelicans hanging with the Suns? Like, why is Dallas hanging with the Suns? And it's like, wait, are they not like what we thought they were, or like, is something happened? And it's like this Warriors team also this year hasn't been 100% healthy. Steph has missed a bunch of time. Draymond has missed a bunch of time. Everybody's on pins and needles anytime Clay does anything. So that like one injury to this team, and it's like these Celtics like all of a sudden are overpowering.
Same thing with the Celtics though.
If anybody but Tatum gets injured, I don't think that it gets that crazy.
Nah, Marcus Smart's ankle is nuts.
Then my boy, the white hype, Peyton Pritchard gets more minutes. That's all it is.
Oh my goodness.
I think that's what it really comes down to. Is I'm way more confident in the Celtics role players than I am in the Warriors role players. Like the Moody's and the Kumingas today, they've been playing like pretty good. But then like when you talk about
them boys. The boys came back from like a 30-point deficit against the Mavs.
I remember
won that game.
Juan Toscano, Anderson, like, you know, stuff like that. But then it's like, yo, Peyton Pritchard, Aaron Nesmith, Grant Williams. I'm missing somebody. Daniel Tice. Like these guys are whatchamacallit. They've been pulling their weight like as well. And it's like a lot of them have been out of the rotation for the most part because they've been like Ime Udoka's trying to run like the tight one. But it's like I think like they're ready. Like remember like Nesmith when they were like, oh man, Nesmith is playing. That brother came out, started swatting shots in transition. He was banging threes. Like everyone's like, yo, he was just waiting for his turn.
We'll see. I can't wait till tomorrow.
I can't wait.
Where are you watching the game at?
It depends. I might be going to my boy Pythagoras' spot.
Okay.
I might be at the crib. I was also considering going to either Buffalo Wild Wings or Christopher's. It might need to be. It is 8:30 at night.
Let me know.
You're supposed to be going to watch Top Gun tomorrow, so.
Huh?
I said you're supposed to be going to watch Top Gun tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it before the game.
You might be on such a high from watching Top Gun that you'd be like, yo, let's go to the airport. Like, I don't even care.
Let's go watch it at Bradley.
Yeah, like let's go ahead. Like I feel like I need to be around some like torque. Like
right. Ready to move on, or we got something else?
No, that was really it. And it's like I said, I know that took a bit of a time, but I was just like, I just wanted to really
got timestamps.
If you really just put it out there, it's like it's not as crazy as people think it is.
Right.
But like, I mean, yeah, we can try to speed through the rest of it though. Where we at next?
Home cooking.
I'm coming home again. Do you think about me now and then? Do you think about me now and then? Cause I'm coming home again. It's time for some home cooking. Moving next to the end of horizon.
All right, so 3 quick things. Highs and lows, concerns. First thing, start with the good news first. A Springfield family, I didn't know about this. I think it happened a couple weeks ago, but a Springfield family got like a brand new home.
I didn't know this.
Yeah,
brought it up
through Habitat of Humanity.
Okay.
I believe the house is on Bay Street, so
my old stomping grounds.
So it's like I believe it's like a mom, 2 sons, and maybe a grandparent.
Okay.
But like the kids look really happy in the pictures. Some of the pictures they were just like, "Yo, fam, could y'all get the cameras out of here already?"
Yeah, like I gotta take a drop.
Right, but it's good to see things like that. Especially when people are getting blessed with a new home, but also because like new properties in the neighborhood brings up the value of how people take care of things and how the neighborhood looks. So, good job. Next, a grant has gone out in Chicopee and Holyoke to battle youth gangs. So I guess there's been an uptick in like some new young gangs around the Chicopee Holyoke area. And in order to try to make sure, I'm assuming the summer doesn't get out of control, a grant has been given to the city of Chicopee and Holyoke to kind of facilitate how they handle the youth that are in this gang activity or youth involvement. It's concerning for me, only because it brings a lot of dynamics with how you're policing a neighborhood.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Like I was wondering what this grant was for exactly.
Right. And I'm gonna look more into it because I want to continue to follow the story. But like I said, it just concerns me of how like potential plainclothes police officers hop out on teenagers, how you begin to identify kids in the neighborhood and just assuming that they're part of gangs, or how you may see one kid with another kid, maybe they're just playing ball and now you're associating with them just because of where they are. And then before you know it, policing could quickly turn to harassment. And then real quick. And then before you know it, kids are getting punished or locked up or taken away from their families for things that they may not be associated with, or a small mistake. And I just feel like giving money for over policing is not always a great idea.
Just watch the whole show about that.
Exactly. So I am concerned. I am going to keep an eye on it and see what's actually going on with it. But I do not feel good about the idea.
I'm not going to lie. It doesn't sound exciting to me as well.
No, it sounds kind of fearful, to be honest with you. I know there are some bad things going on, and there are some young men making some poor decisions, but I don't think the small group should punish the whole collective. I know they always say one bad apple spoils the batch, but it's just like how are you determining what the bad apple is? Like, just don't go grabbing mad apples and like they all bad already. Like you don't know. So I'm hoping that it's maintenance well, it's supervised well, and it doesn't become a situation to where people are getting their rights abused.
Agreed.
And last but not least, some terrible news. I won't speak a lot about it because I don't know all the details and the ins and outs. I know people are hurting right now, but there was a local Springfield rapper, very young kid, who was murdered in a nightclub on Worthington Street. They said it happened in the bathroom of the nightclub. I don't know the details of like how the attack happened, but I do know that the young man lost his life. I have seen several people who have spoken well of him and said that he really put on for the city. He was pretty talented at what he was doing, and he really had an opportunity to do some things. So, it's always a shame to see somebody's light taken away from them before they get a chance to actually shine to their full potential. So thoughts and prayers go out to those families and those friends and their loss. And, it's just a tough way to start the summer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like we could skip the blitz, bro. If I'm looking at it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with skipping the blitz.
All right. So we go straight into
nothing really major there. Yeah.
Straight to these heavyweight lows?
Yeah, there you go.
What you won't do for love. You tried everything, but you won't give up. I'll set you up. Because it's like I know you did your 3-part series,
cool,
not too long ago. I think you had the assumption that meant that I was gonna follow it up with a 3-parter. But like as you know, like my things are always like an ongoing series.
Yeah.
So it's just like I just take my time with it. That's what I don't know.
I kept a short one in the cut. I got a short one in the cut.
Okay, and it's a short one.
It's a short one, and it gives you opportunity for some feedback as well.
Some feedback.
I think that this. Go ahead, set it up. My bad.
I was literally about to hit.
Okay.
So I was just saying, like, you got it. You said you got a short one. Like, what we got today?
Yeah, so we have been titling lately. I don't know when we started titling, but we are. Have we always titled?
Not really.
Not really. All right. Well, I titled.
I titled the know your role,
right.
And then like all of a sudden, like we just started going from.
And I titled in-laws.
Yeah. See, so that's all that happened is because they're a series now.
Right. Well, this one is called "I Don't Want Your Husband." Pause.
I hope you don't.
So, ladies, listen to me. Please hear me out. Okay. I know you have your girlfriends or like your best friends or your sisters or your work buddies or whatever it is. Okay. I, for one, tell my wife, I like for you to have friends because the more you have friends, the more you have time to do fun things that ladies do together. So when I'm kicking it with the homies, it's not like, why are you kicking it with the homies? Why are you not here? Why y'all still playing 2K? Whatever it may be, right? I'm not saying that's not the way my wife sounds. It's just that sounds like the crazy Mike Wazowski.
I had PTSD for a second. I'm not gonna lie. I had some of these before. There's another game.
Right.
Wasn't last week Game 7?
Football, another football game. It's like, don't you?
What do you mean you guys are going to watch the next Top Gun?
Right. So when I say that I don't want your husband, it's just like, just because you have friends that you hang out with, it does not mean that I have to be cool with their husband or their boyfriend or their significant other. So I don't want to hear hey, Sally's coming over and she about to bring Eric. Who's the stranger? Like, who's the stranger? Like, I'm in my skivvies. I was playing on Chilling today. I was literally just
now I have to entertain.
Right. Not only can I not chill, like I'm already putting on clothes to chill on this day that I didn't have nothing planned for. So I'm wearing clothes because you got company. But now I have to entertain. Like, hey man, like I don't know if like you're like you want to watch what I'm watching. Like, hey man, you want to throw something on the grill? No, I didn't plan on I was gonna order out. Like now I gotta order 2 subs.
Why did your thing become my thing? All
right.
And it's like I get it. Like I'm here to support.
Right.
I got like whatever you need and stuff like that. But like sometimes you don't gotta throw it all on me, baby.
Right. Right. It's just like oh no, because this. So here's some of the things that I hear. It'll be cool because we'll have a couple to hang out with. Like, who says we need to hang out with couples? We got each other.
To be fair, like double dates are nice from time to time.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be a regular thing. It just has to be like.
So is that kind of what this boils down to? Is like it just needs to be sparingly?
Yeah. No, I can do without sparingly too. To be honest with you, man, it's like I don't need any new friends. You know what I mean? Like I will meet people and like as things grow, maybe it grows into something. But like I'm really selective about the people that I have around me, and like the whole.
You're the mayor of Springfield. You selective?
Yes, I mean I know a lot of people, but all them people I say hi to are not chilling at my crib.
This is true.
You know what I mean? So it's just like I can be cordial and professional and humble around people, but it doesn't mean like, hey man, come over to the crib tomorrow, man, so we can watch Stranger Things together. It's like this is not what I want to happen, right? So it's just like we don't have to always have couples to go out with, right? You don't have to. The worst one for me is, oh, he doesn't hang out with a lot of people, and she wants him to become social. So figure if they hang out with us, then he become more social. Hanging around. I'm his life coach. I'm his life coach. I gotta coach his life. Like, yo, listen. If he hasn't figured it out by now, I'm not gonna be the one who helps. All right.
Like, first of all, I'm dope. So it's like I get it. I like movies. I like TV show. I like sports. I like video games. There's a million and one things that if you come over that like I can do and I can entertain you, and I can see why you'd want to hang out with me. At no point in time do I need to hang out with you. There is nothing worse than when you bring the dude around and he doesn't check any of those boxes.
Nope.
I'm like, wait, you don't watch TV? And you don't like movies? Your favorite sport is soccer? And I was like, you're not big on video games? You actually don't have a TV like in your house? What do you do? Do you play dominoes?
Where you
like
no
man,
cards? Like, no.
Like, oh,
where do you work at? I'm in between jobs.
It's like, oh, you're the worst. I can't wait until both of you guys leave so I can tell my girl to tell like, yo, your friend needs to drop this. Like, he's a lame. I can see why she needs to bring him around so much because he has nothing better to do with his time because he's a loser.
She's trying to get rid of him. She's trying to pawn him off so she can have some.
Because when it's the other way around, because like I'm sure you've been to things where it's like, hey, I'm gonna go to so and so's house,
right?
And you'd be like, all right, good, go have fun. I can't wait for you to leave so I can do all the things that I actually want to do, but I can't do because you're here.
Right.
But when they don't have those things, they're like, oh, what do you mean? Where are you going?
Right.
Who all gonna be there?
Right.
Doesn't he? Hey, that's the guy that does this, right? And it's just like, oh, just stay home. Go to your friend. He doesn't have a lot of friends. Probably because he's lame. He's lame.
Yeah, I can't do it, man.
He's lame, bro.
Listen, I can't remember like the last time I went on like an unwanted couples date because like most of the like people that I already know, like we kick it, you know what I mean? But it's like I remember the time it was some years ago, but that joint was eerie, bro. It's just like you're literally sitting at the dinner table like, Daddy's appetizer's taking too long. It's like I should have ordered another appetizer just so I have a reason to eat and not talk.
You see the game the other night?
I'm sorry.
Which one? Real Madrid? No, it was not. Yo, dude, Top Gun. Thor's coming out.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since the first Avengers.
Yeah.
Like, yo, like
New Jay's coming out this weekend. Oh, this man's got sketches on his feet.
He's like, Jay-Z got a new album, and you're like, there you go. Like, yo, come on.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, anything like, yo, what are you listening to? What are you doing? Like, I was like, Then you got to do the things like, no, I got a podcast. What's it on?
Don't subscribe. Don't comment.
Please don't comment because I'm talking about you.
I'm talking about you. Yeah, listen, ladies, just so you get it, like males have a very primitive way of making connections and building friends. And once we do that, it works out just perfectly. We don't need y'all to Chuck Woolery us a friend out here.
I don't know about you, but I usually do the scan. And it's like the scan is usually like, all right, what do you got on? So like, are you rocking a certain rapper on your shirt? All right, I know I can talk to you about that. Are you wearing a hat with a certain team on it? I can talk to you about that. Looking at your kicks is pretty fly. I can talk about that. Like, yo, you not checking none of these boxes, and you don't have no stuff here. Like, I really don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Showed up with a flannel shirt, leather pants, and dress shoes. Like,
you know, with the Jesus walks and his toes out.
What am I gonna do? Walk with me, Lord. What am I gonna do with this?
So, lame boyfriends are bad.
Yes.
I feel like the worst is when they're a toxic couple or they're a bad relationship. And it's just like, yo, you know I don't bang with this dude. Nah. And it's like, I don't bang with this dude, not because I don't know him, because you tell me all the dirt that he does, and I don't understand why your homegirl is still with her, and you're going to bring this bum around me, and then he's going to bring some turbulence into my house?
And I don't even know why you chilling with her with all this toxicity around her that's going to try to leak over into our relationship.
Didn't she call you to have me come over there a couple weeks ago because he was putting hands on her and I had to do all that type of stuff? Right. Like, yo, come on.
Right. You know how many bags I had to carry out of the crib that day? Like, come on now.
Yeah, like
you know what's worse than that for me though? The one who's excited about the meetup. Like, oh, I'm on to meet so-and-so's husband or something. Like the show.
He heard so much about you.
Right.
Oh, yo, big dog.
Right. About you. What's going on, man? What we doing today?
If your dad hand is too high, yeah. And I gotta look up at him I'm like, yo, this brother's
I gotta look up for it.
I was like, this brother's wild.
Right. What we doing today, man? You got somebody else coming over? We playing cards? What you watching on the TV?
I can't tell you how many dudes be like, yo, I heard you play 2K. And I'm like, yeah, I play 2K. And they're like, you try to run something? I'm like, do you play 2K though? And then like, yeah. And then like you start playing, I'm like, this brother don't play 2K. And it's just like, oh man. And then like in the middle of the game, they're like, yo, put some Madden on.
I made him pick the Warriors or the Lakers and still getting dubbed. It's like, man, what are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? I know when somebody plays 2K right away when they turn on the game, like we doing randoms or you doing teams.
You know the lingo.
Okay, you know the lingo. But if you just like, I think I'm gonna go with the Lakers, like
what team LeBron on?
I'm gonna pick the Knicks, fam. Don't worry about this. We're about to get this one over real quick. We're about to get this one over real quick. RJ Bear buckets. But yeah, man, just so you know, we don't need you to encourage us having friends. All right, we got all the people we need over here. That's that Gary Bertier line. It's like we don't need any of your people on defense. We all set on offense. You can have half the special teams.
Yeah. So like this is the thing. It's like I understand the whole. You want like your friend circle to be a certain way, and then you want all this stuff in there. And it's like I'm very supportive of that. Like I remember like that was like a big thing. Like my mom used to hate is like she would be the one that was in a relationship that her husband never wanted to come to things. Mm. And then she'd have to go there. They'd be like, "Where's your husband at? Right. What's he doing? Right. How come he's not here? Right. What's he been up to? Right. Haven't seen him in forever." And she used to tell me like, "Yo, like she could not stand that." And I get it. And it's like. I give you the first couple times. It's like, yo, of course, like, hey, I want you to meet my friends. Of course, I'm gonna go meet your friends. Right. But it's like, it's almost like when we talk about with the parents, where it's like, yo, listen, there's a couple of things that I really don't bang with your friend circle or something like that. Is like, I think this should kind of be your thing. Right. This would be your time to go handle your biz. I'll stay with the kids. Right. Like, it'd be a whole stressful day. Here's a couple dollars. You can go get your nails done afterwards. Right. Take care of all that. Have a great day out there. I don't want to go chill with this biz.
You know what would be the craziest too? Like the guilt trip quotes.
Oh,
when you decide not to do something and you get back, like everybody was asking for you.
What you tell me?
So-and-so asked where you was at. It's like everybody was expecting you to be on the grills. Like,
of course they were. That's why your friends want me around, because I actually do stuff. Because they lame ass niggas don't do nothing.
How I bring nothing to the table when I'm the table.
They want me to come because I bring a good time. I bring the games. Right. We'll put the table out. Right. I'll turn the grill on. Right. I got the you want my playlist. Do all this stuff. This brother, yo man, this dude only listens to Playboy Cardi.
I'll bring up one more thing and I'll leave it at this. Like I showed up, so I was like, all right, I will go with you. And you show up, and as soon as you walked in, one person's like, "Oh, Raisin's here!" I'm like, "Oh, that's Raisin! Oh, word! Somebody get the dominoes!" And it's like, what is going on here? I feel so.
And it's like, I'll play the dominoes when I want to play dominoes. Right. If I want to play dominoes, don't tell me that I play.
Right. The person on the grill was like, "Raisin's here!" Like, fam, what is happening right now? I didn't even bring grill slacks. I didn't bring grill slacks. Like, I didn't have grease popping all over my shit. Like, I'm in short shit. Like, come on now.
Was it charcoal grill too?
Y'all hella tripping, man. But I have my shins all sweaty.
I think I'm just gonna order some Chinese. That's all good for everybody.
Right now, I'm at the place where I can't change, and I'm uncomfortable in my grill clothes.
Oh no, they didn't say it's like, no, we got the same size. I think I got some upstairs. Let's fit you.
I'm all set, fam. I'm all set.
Look good on you.
I'm all
Look
set.
good on you.
I'm all set. But yeah.
So like, I'm the single friend. I have a lot of female friends.
Okay.
So it's like that's another thing too. Is like you always got to meet the boyfriend.
That is another thing.
Why you say that?
No, go ahead.
But it's like I always have to meet the boyfriends, and it's like usually I have to listen to you talk trash about like how your boyfriend's trash, and it's like now you want me to meet this dude. It's like he's treating you like a sucker, but it's like I gotta pretend to be cool with him, and so then it's like he doesn't check the boxes, and he's lame, and then like now we gotta do this thing because it's like because then if I do the thing where it's like yo, I really don't like him, I don't bang with him. Now I can't never chill with you because whatchamacallit, like you'd be like, oh well, you don't like him, and it's like he's always gonna be around. It's like, and it's like, then it's ugly.
See him random places, it's just like,
hey, what's going on, bro? Like, and like,
bro, I don't rock with you.
I don't rock with you. Then, like, I don't think this is getting in too deep.
Don't feel like you don't have to say anything.
I don't think this is getting too deep.
Don't incriminate yourself.
I don't think this is getting too deep.
Okay.
This happens all the time.
Okay.
All of them love me, want me to come through. Want me to go do this stuff. Want me to play the games with them. Want me to watch the game. Yo, bro, we got to do this. Bro, we got to do that. Bro, we got to do that. The second they start getting ready to break up, or the second that like they start getting into an argument, I just think the whole situation with Joel is weird. I don't understand why you're right here. Oh my God, like you're injured.
We just split a box of wings yesterday, fam.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I'm just saying. Like a male best friend, like that sounds crazy.
That's what I'm all saying.
It happens like
that
all the time.
Crazy.
And I'm just
but
like,
don't let your insecurities, like, if you felt that way, you should have checked that from the gate. Like,
because that's another thing too. Is like, I'm usually like not the one to sit there and be like, oh, well, he sounds like this, or like he sounds like that. Like, I'll let you sound off, and I'm like, well, like, does that sound healthy to you? And like, do that whole type of thing. Because it's like, I never want to dirty Mac or tell you that, like, like, what you call it, unless of course, like he's putting his hands on you, or like he's knowingly cheating and like doing all that other type of stuff. Where it's like, yo, you got to go. Like, this sounds crazy.
The rules of engagement.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, but like, yo, brothers. Like lames are real quick to 30 Mac and then do all that stuff and then be like, well, I mean, it seems to me like I don't understand why he wants to sit next to you all the time. And like do all this other stuff. Like, oh, so all of a sudden he likes TV shows like This Is Us because he just wants to come over here. He don't even drink, but he brings wine. I'm like, I brought it for y'all, fam. What you talking about? Like, no, like
he don't even drink, but he brings wine.
Yo, this is the one that killed me. Every time he comes over, we have to do what he wants to do. Why we got to watch the stuff that he wants to watch? Why we got to eat what he wants to eat? That's the one that's killing me. I drink now, nigga.
Why we like he wants to do?
That one used to kill me. I'm like, I literally like.
Yo, I'm clipping this whole piece right here. I just want you to know that.
And that's literally. It's like, yeah, I literally came here to watch the show because I hate with a burning passion indecisiveness.
Yes.
And that's one of the things I think one of the reasons why people like when I come over is because like I'm like, yo, let's do this, or like let's get something going. I can't stand like let's watch a movie and like let's scroll on this for a minute. I'm like, yo, let's watch either of these two movies. These two movies came out. Like let's pick a movie. We'll flip a coin. What do you want to eat? I'm kind of feeling like chicken. Like no, like yo, like you know what? Let's order pizza from over here. It's real cheap. I already ordered it actually because I got the Domino's. Like what are we like? Stuff like that. And like oh, honestly. What do you want to do? Like, so you said you're a Pistons fan. Yo, I'm just like, listen, if you don't bang with me, just don't bang with me. Don't pretend like you my friend and like do all this other stuff. Try to text me like on the side is like, hey bro, if you want to come over a little bit early today, we can get some 2K games in. What the hell are you talking about? You kill shot in my nuts?
This is your bottle of wine. Yeah, I just brought this up.
I'm mad that you did. Yo, I bring Ciroc and I bring wine every time. One for you, one for your man.
Oh man. Yo, fam. That is hilarious, bro. That is hilarious.
And I can only try so much.
The insecurities is legit.
That's what I'm saying. Why do I always gotta work around this other person? I always have to be the bigger person.
Hilarious, bro. That is hilarious.
What kills me is like, yeah, like he'll say all this other type of stuff, but then like when you need something fixed or you need something moved, every time I come over, it's miraculously like, oh, he's out of town or like he's doing something. I'm like, this nigga ain't never around to do chores around his own house, bro. Why am I mowing the lawn right now? Like,
who mowed the lawn, Joel? What?
Where were you? Where were you? Why am I shoveling? I don't get it.
All right, we digress. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah. Don't hook us up with your homegirls, dude, man. Like, I'm all set.
I have enough friends.
We all set. All right. Do you have a nasty nugget?
I do have a nasty nugget. Do you have a cultural gem? It's a better question.
Go nasty nugget first.
Because you didn't have one last week either.
Oh, no. I did have one last week.
Mm-mm.
Are you sure about that?
Where's your little notebook?
Right there. No, I know for sure that I had one last week because I remember very distinctly that I
thought this was you stalling for the next
No, I was going to meet your promise because you were asking, can we do Rush Hour because we hadn't done it yet. And I told you that our next cultural gym would definitely be Rush Hour.
That was 2 episodes ago, bro.
No, it wasn't.
We're doing episode 51. Episode 50 didn't have B Miz on there because B Miz and them were here when we were talking about Rush Hour. Remember, because they were like, yeah. But I'm gonna go to this nasty. He really brought the notebook out.
I did bring the notebook out. Well, it's Rush Hour.
You
want one
with the Obama bailout.
You want one or two?
It's up to you. Which one do you think is better? How about that? I think we all can agree that Rush Hour 3 is the worst one.
Yes.
Rewatching Rush Hour 3, it was on TV not too long ago. That movie's still extremely funny. It's just not as good as the first two.
Right. Which one had Kung Fu Kenny in it?
Kung Fu Kenny? Yeah. What are you talking about? The second one, the first one is Juntao. The second one is Ricky Tan.
I'm talking about which one had Don Cheetah in it?
He was in the first one.
I'm going with the first one.
Okay. Just because of literally, like, I shoot you say you fell in the kitchen. That's all there is to it.
My favorite scene.
Somebody wrote about it and they were just like, this movie is very problematic now. And I was like, the movie was problematic back then. That's what made the movie funny. Right. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, we're losing our recipes. We're so busy being sensitive. You want to tell them about what Rush Hour is about?
Oh, yeah. So, they are they?
It's Detective James Carter.
Yeah, no, I can't remember. They're in China in the second one, right?
Yes.
All right. So, yeah. So, 2 officers are paired together. Mm-hmm. They're not your average group of police officer pairs, one being Chris Tucker, one being Jackie Chan. Chris Tucker is a very lighter side of policing, where he's a people person to get things done and knows the ins and outs of the streets and, like, I wouldn't say cut corners, but
he's loose with it.
He's a little loose with it to make sure that he can get his good police working done. When Jackie Chan is more like stern, by the book, we need to do things the right way in order to get things done. And as their 2 styles of policing mix, they find the right opportunity on how to get things done, and they are faced with these calamities on which they have to save people and stop criminals, and they make the perfect team.
That was an insane way to describe Rush Hour. I'm just looking at that right now.
Yeah?
Yeah. That was wild.
Was it insanely good?
I don't think so. A young girl named Soo Young is kidnapped by the terrorists.
Push the button.
What's the goddamn button? When you walk by, not like the prime minister's daughter, Soo Young, gets kidnapped by international terrorist Juntao.
Trying to tell the movie.
It's on the back of the box. Like if you went to Blockbuster and read it, are you talking about? This is the description if you hit info.
His brother dated himself something crazy on the back of the box if you went to Blockbuster. Oh, you'd be so mad when you see the picture of the movie right there, but there ain't no box behind it.
Oh my God.
All the movies is gone.
I didn't want to swing. I know I saw that little girl in the pigtails.
I'll be waiting. Yeah, what movies you returning, fam? What movie? Don't care if it ain't with Wild. Don't worry about it.
You can't check the bin to see if it's in there.
Right.
It's not in the bin.
Can you check returns? Can you check the returns? All right, go ahead. My bad.
Well, I mean, so like, that Detective Lee has to come to New York.
Yep.
Or LA. He has to come to LA to team with Detective James Carter in order to solve to retrieve Soo Young.
Yep.
Because I think Juntao also did something to Carter. Carter gets kicked off the force.
Yep.
He gets kicked off the force due to his recklessness, and like he uses the opportunity with Detective Lee coming to join forces with him to kind of earn his spot back, and they have one of the best friendships I've ever seen in movies. And
LD got kicked out of the force. He got knocked down to a beat cop. He was like directing traffic or something.
No, that was Rush Hour 3.
Was it?
Yeah.
Sheesh, that was.
He winds up doing the thing where it's like the C4, and he blows up the C4. They're like, you're too restless, Carter. And then they lie to him and they tell him that he's getting a better detail.
Right.
And that's what he goes. He's like, you got to watch the Prime Minister, and then like all that stuff happens.
Right.
And like in order to earn a spot back, because he wants to be FBI.
Right.
Because his daddy was FBI.
Mm.
They wind up finding out that both their daddies died in the line of fire, and it's just like that's how they start to.
Spoiler alert.
Is it? My daddy won't call a bullet with his bare hand. It's an insanely fun thrill ride. It's a great movie. It's probably Chris Tucker's best movie in general.
Yes, definitely.
You know what I mean? It's the series itself is amazing.
I can't remember much else after Rush Hour.
From Chris Tucker, he was in Silver Linings Playbook.
I can't remember much else.
Silver Linings Playbook was a great movie.
Silver Linings?
Yeah. The one with Bradley Cooper and Jennifer
Oh,
Lawrence.
no, that was a good. Yes. I don't know. What were you saying after Silver Linings?
That was all I was.
It sounded like you were saying Silver Linings Playbook or something.
No, I was like, we're going to find it. I did one of those.
No, Silver Linings was good. Yeah, Silver Linings.
Yeah, but then like.
It wasn't his movie, though.
Did you ever hear like the reason why Chris Tucker was like out of Hollywood?
No.
Apparently he's illiterate and like literally cannot read. And so like he just like hears his lines and like that's how he kind of does it. And I guess it became very difficult for him like at some point in time. Mm-hmm. And he just like joined the church and was like quit acting and like all that type of stuff. And like he came back for the Silver Linings Playbook.
Oh. Yeah. So he's literally like the Nick Cannon from Drumline of acting.
Yeah. That's a wild analogy. You were doing some crazy analogies.
Music. He can read music.
He can feel this.
He had to hear the sound.
Yeah. What you got? Where can they find it?
Oh.
So even when I give you 3 different, where can they find it? Like you still just kept.
Oh, going. That's what you were doing.
That's what I was saying. I was like, we're gonna find it. We're gonna find it. Like,
I did not know that's what you were doing. All right, so, this movie came out in '98, bro.
Yes, it did.
98. So it's on HBO Max, YouTube, Google Play, Amazon Prime, and that Voodoo.
I thought you was gonna do it with me.
No. Oh, are you doing the Jet Li version or are you doing the Carter version?
If you can't tell,
go ahead. Let me see it again.
No, say that.
Oh, that's definitely Jackie Chan. That's definitely Jackie Chan.
No, Jackie Chan.
Chris Tucker put a little bounce into it.
Well, he was driving. He said. Do you remember what song was on the radio? It was the number. It was one of a very famous artist's first really big hits.
I don't remember.
It was on the soundtrack of the movie. No. Can I hit it in the morning without giving you half of my dough? And even worse, if I was broke, would you want me? That was Jay-Z's first big hit.
Can I get a whoop whoop?
Yeah. Who was on the end of that song? Ja Rule, body that verse.
Oh my goodness. So was Amelia, wasn't she?
Listen. Emilion had a very important bar, and it's one of my favorite bars in the entire song. She said,
"You don't got to be rich,
but that. How we gonna get around on your bus pass before I put this on your mustache? Can you afford me?" Very important line in that song. I'll drop my nasty nugget because I can't leave you on much of the time right now.
Oh man!
I know that we're running a little long, so I'll make it like
Raisinet after your nasty.
Oh snap! I thought we were ready to get up out of here. Yeah. So one of the reasons why we took so long to film is like we couldn't film because on Saturday I went to my first anime convention. I went with my brother to Boston Anime Con, which is not the biggest anime. What was that deep sigh for? That was wild.
I'm sorry.
You were depressed while you were raising that. Yeah. So like that was my first ever convention period, and I had an amazing time. Like the whole time I was there, like all I kept thinking about was like I can't wait till the next one. Okay. Because like one of the things is like like I didn't dress up like like I didn't cosplay. That's the best way to put it. It's like I had a T-shirt with a dope design on it. Like I had some anime like stuff on, but I was like, I didn't do the full outfit and I immediately regretted it. And my brother said the same thing because everybody that's in there that does dress up in their cosplay, it looks so dope. And it's like, this place had like, so they rent out the entire Sheraton hotel. So it's like all the rooms are like open and it's like in every room is like a different event that's going on. Some of them are showing whole anime movies. Some of them are showing TV shows. There's voice actors for certain characters are there and like people can meet and greet and talk to these people. There's I think my two favorite things is like these two big convention halls. And like one of them is just like you could just get merchandise. So like, like my brother got like a really dope poster. One of my his cousin wound up getting like a Dragon Ball.
The Akira poster.
It was hard, bro.
That's an OG.
Hard,
bro.
Like
OG. That's an OG.
That's one of his favorite animes too. Like
I don't think it might have been one of the first animes I ever watched.
Damn, that's pretty dope. That's a high bar to try to have to go over. But I think for his birthday, like I'm not telling him this, but like he's not gonna watch this. I think we're safe. For Christmas, I think I'm gonna get him like a really dope canvas print from the movie and stuff like that. And I think he'll watch. I think he'll really enjoy that. But his cousin wound up getting like the Dragon Ball Scouter that they find the Dragon Balls with an actual Dragon Ball with it. And it was dope. Like they have clothes, they have the mangas, the books, they have movies, they have the older movies that you can't find anywhere. There's a lot of porn in there. Like I said, there's a lot of hentais like that. But like the thing is like no one, I feel like it's the most judgment-free zone anywhere. Like nobody is being like, oh man, look at them over at like the porn table, or like look at these people over here. Like everybody just so enjoys this medium that it's just like it was just super dope. But like my favorite thing is they have this other whole like convention hall out, and it's all for fan stuff. So things that like fans have made. Like some people have made entire like someone had made like you remember Digimon?
Yep.
You remember like when they would digivolve to like War Greymon, and he'd have like all like he literally built all that type of stuff, and it's like you can buy the things that he built that can move and like do all that type of stuff. Like he sewed together like Goku's complete gi like in the right color scheme with the right things on it. Like he had made wigs and like stuff like that. But like the thing is, the biggest thing was like these people's art. And it's like I look at this stuff and I'm like, I don't even understand how a person could sit down with a pen or a paintbrush and like create this thing. Like we wound up buying like this one guy, he was a Black creator. And he drew all his stuff with Sharpie. And I was like, you'll see it when you come to the crib. Like we got him like in the living room and stuff like that. And it's just like, it looks so fire. But like the thing that he specialized in is he would mix anime characters into like Black media. So like one of the pictures was like, it was like he drew like Craig and Day or Craig and Smokey doing the damn, but it was like Goku and Vegeta and stuff like that. It was like a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah,
he had
I've seen some shirts like that.
He had the characters from the Boondocks dressed up as like the characters from like My Hero Academia and like all the costumes.
That's dope.
It was so
I think
dope.
The hardest one I've seen was it had Piccolo, Goku, and Vegeta, but it was like the paid in full picture.
He had one
like the bandage on, and like standing in the middle.
He had one where it was Goku, Naruto, Luffy, and Ichigo, which they're known like Goku, Naruto, and Luffy are known as the big three in anime. And like Bleach, for Ichigo's from Bleach, he's one of those as well. But he had them in the black sweaters, like the Vibe magazine cover from Death Row. And I was just like, this is so, and it doesn't look corny. Like it doesn't look like, remember when you would find those t-shirts and it'd be like Goku in like a Supreme jacket or like it was like smoking weed or something like that with like a backwoods. It didn't look like that type of stuff. Like it was like he cared about these things and took a lot of it. And like the one that he wound up getting is Nick is a big Kingdom Hearts video game fan. Like he loves the video game Kingdom Hearts. And he got Huey rocking Sora's gear with the Keyblade. He got it in his room, and I was just like, yeah. Like as soon as he grabbed it, as soon as I saw it, like before I could even be like, yo, he was just like, is that? And then he was just like, I gotta get it. And I was like, bro, you gotta get it. I was like, you gotta get it. And, but it's like they're all there, so like you get to talk to these people and stuff like that, and it's just like it's such a dope experience. There was one thing I didn't like. It was like the food there wasn't that great, so it was like you gotta
specialize in food.
Yeah, no,
you got a bunch of top ramen all over the place.
I wish it was top ramen. That would be fire. But it was like cafeteria style pizza and like stuff like that. It was like
got you.
There was a section where like you could do like they did like the traditional like beef and rice and like all that other type of stuff. And like it was okay, but I was really hoping to get like actual ramen, like stuff like that.
Got you.
So it is one of those things like you got to kind of eat before you go. There, like this thing goes from like 7 in the morning to like 1:30 in the morning.
Sheesh.
And it's like it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Sheesh.
Type of deal. So like. I absolutely enjoyed myself. Can't wait to go to the next one.
You were there all 3 days?
No, we only went for Saturday.
Oh, okay.
We actually did do like this event where it was kind of like speed dating, but they called it like speed friending. And it was like, you kind of go into the room, like you have to go to separate tables and then like you meet different people. They give you like the question icebreakers. And it was just really dope to like meet other people. Cause then like the first question is like, so like, what's your favorite anime? And it's like, they would say the thing and then you'd be like, what? And then like, why this? And then like you listen to people's reasons on why they like it. And it's just like, it's so fire that this medium that like, I feel like back in the day, like you used to get made fun of for like liking it, has become like this explosion thing where it's like, there are little kids there, there are old people there are people our age, there are teenagers there. And it's like, they all have different things that they enjoy. And it was just like, I just thought like that was so cool. Like I would just be like, we'd be riding like the escalator. I'd just be looking around. I'm like, look at this old dude dressed as Akira or something like that. And I'm like that, like, and then like, you talk to the dude later and he'd be like, oh, this is like my favorite thing. See this old woman who was dressed up as like Raven from Teen Titans. She was like, oh, I used to love this show. Like I used to watch it with my grandson who passed away, something like that. I'm like, damn, like, stuff like that. They had karaoke open. They had all this other stuff. And like, there was another thing that I wish I would have done. We didn't take a lot of pictures, especially like with people, because like you don't want to bother people.
Right.
But then like you start seeing them, it's like, oh, these people love to take pictures with people, and they're like, hey, make sure you tag me, and then like network and do all this stuff. Because like towards the end, that's what wound up happening is people were like, yo, like, are you on Discord? Do you play Call of Duty? Like, do you want to do this? And then it's like, and it's like,
podcast.
And it's like there was a couple people out there. I was like, well, I had this podcast, and they were like, oh, like send me the link. And I was like, oh, okay. But they were like right now, like take out your phone. And I was just like, oh, okay. And they were like, oh, like this is it right here, like follow. And I'm just like, oh, like these people are dedicated and like,
that's what's up.
What's regard? It was dope.
That's what's up. Sounds like we need to hit more cosplays.
Cons, conventions.
Oh my bad.
I'm gonna hit an adult con too at some point in time.
I enjoy that.
You sure you don't want to come?
Nope.
I say don't tell the wife.
Nope.
You have a Raisinet.
I do have a Raisinet. It's more of a somber note.
Damn, bro. You should have told me that. You should have won first.
I'm sorry. But I trying to figure out the right way to like start this and end this. I did lose a really close friend this weekend.
Yeah.
Wasn't even 40 yet. It was a really tough situation. I'm still dealing with it, still processing it. Haven't even had the services yet. But like I just wanted to make sure to like, regardless of who sees it, I could care less. But just to give him some type of shout out to speak to his character as a man. It's not too many people that you meet in life that are in your life for a number of years. And I want to say we probably met when we were 13 and like until now,
So it's like 25 years almost?
Yeah. I don't call him a friend, I call him my brother. He was a very unique gentleman, not just because he was the only white kid in the hood, but because like you wouldn't tell, like if you talked to him on the phone or his mannerism, and it wasn't like one of those situations where people are like, oh, you just try and be part of the culture. It was like, no, this was his habitat. This
Tommy Egan we talk about.
Yeah, basically, you know what I mean? And like his nickname was White G, you know what I mean? Or some people cut it even shorter and called him Dub G, but his real name was Chris Scott. He was a really good dude, gone too soon. Love him, I miss him. I mean, I don't know. I'm lost for words, but it's just you really don't like it. Like you get to the point to where you live your life and not expecting to get to certain points, and then when you get through all the nonsense, to lose somebody like so abruptly in the manner in which you didn't expect to go is just like makes it double painful, I guess. And it's a really tough thing to deal with. You know what I mean? So. I'm grateful for the people that I have around me and the family and friends that like are strengthening my days. But like, I know the day is still coming where that service has to happen and I'm dreading it. So just wanted to make sure I told my homie,
Do you plan on speaking at the services?
He's missed. I don't think so.
That sounds very unreasonable.
Yeah, no. I just don't want to, like usually I have something to say, not like scripted, but like it just comes. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, I hope when my time comes that you have something planned up.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to go first.
Why would you?
I'm on Tom Cruise, man. I'm going to do some wild stuff.
Chill out, man. Chill out, man.
I can't handle if you go first.
Listen, man, let's not discuss it, man, because I don't know how I would feel either, man. So, but like I said, stuff like that, having solid dudes around to help you through the tough times. So shout out to my homie Chris White G Scott.
White G or YG?
White G. Some people.
I thought it was White G.
So it was.
I wanted to double check.
So it was a development. It was like he was the only white kid around, so they just calling him white guy. You know what I mean? But then they found out that he was really a G. Like he was not a sucker. He wasn't just hanging around to hang around. So the guy got cut short to G, White G. And then some people thought they were saying YG, so some people started calling him YG until they figured out and hung out around him. It was like, oh, it's actually White G. And then, some people cut it short, and the white turned to just a W, so it's Dub G. So he carries a number of different names, but regardless of the name, he's the same man, same character. Good dude. Good father, good friend, good brother.
It's a piece of White G, man.
Yeah, man.
Clearly, I can tell by just the tone of your voice that like it meant a lot to you. So.
Yeah, man.
So now you're gonna make me close this out, man. Weird now, because like now you got a weird tone of your voice, like all this other type of stuff. So I don't even know how to really say.
No, go ahead and get to it. Go ahead and get to it. I trust you.
Episode 51's in the books. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We'll be here next week, hopefully, or on Saturday. Hopefully, Raisinet have seen Top Gun by then. I'll have finished Stranger Things, so we have a lot to talk about there. Game 1 of the finals is tomorrow, so we're gonna have quite a bit to talk about on that. With that being said, everybody stay safe, be good, and shout outs to my man Johnny Depp.
Hey,
let's go, baby. My man Edward Scissorhands.
Hey,
how long you gonna make me do this for?
I was just gonna see how long he's gonna do it and keep it going.